sports.
Join the conversation on 95.7 The Game with the Xfinity mobile text line. Text 888-957-9570.
From the 510, Ray looks great in teal. I think we can all agree. From the 650,
Stop. Don't do this.
Ray Ratto makes me hate sports and life. Loved you guys, though. So that, that's nice.
Text the text line at 888-957-9570. Xfinity Mobile. Your wireless, your rules.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Alanis Morissette.
When it first started, I would have my nightly panic attacks, but then I started getting really curious about all the sensations. Like, I just really started looking at, okay, so chest is, I got really kind of granular in observing the details of what was really going on with the breath. It's just survival strategy. Chronic stress is trauma.
Join us for Odyssey's I'm Listening 2-hour National Mental Health Conversation, Wednesday, September 21st at 6 p.m. Talk saves lives.
The game is over, but we're just getting started.
So this is the thanks I get for working overtime.
Overtime! Welcome to Overtime with Kyle Madsen and Alan Stiles on 95.7 The Game.
All right. The 49ers up 27-7, but let's start with some bad news. Via ESPN's Adam Schefter, 49ers quarterback Trey Lance suffered a significant ankle injury today that is expected to require surgery that likely will end his season. So Jimmy Garoppolo steps in today after Trey Lance went down in the first quarter. He was carted off with that ankle injury, and now it looks like 2022 is going to be the season of Jimmy G. So let's start there, Alan, as I welcome in Alan Stiles. I'm Kyle Madsen. This is Overtime. We're rocking with you here for the next couple hours. I mean, as long as you guys are fired up and we're talking about it, we're going to be here for you. 888-957-9570. That's the phone number. That is the Comcast Business text line. Get in here right now. Let's talk about Trey Lance. We'll get to the win. It was nice. The 49ers haven't quite put it away just yet, but they're up 27-7. But we got to start with the injury to number 5.
Yeah, and look, we're going to have a lot of time to get into this, but let me start right here. It's on Kyle Shanahan. I'm sorry, man. I mean, 3-4 carries. We're not even out of the first quarter yet. It's reckless. And we continue to use these over-baked terms like genius. I'm not calling him a genius today. I'm calling him reckless. No, did you think we drafted Lamar Jackson? Because I didn't. I didn't think so.
No, but I think reckless is a little bit unfair.
How so?
Because you're playing football. Injuries are going to happen. And so to say this is his fault, it's not his fault that Trey Lance's ankle got bent under him.
No.
Now, the critique for me is less that Trey Lance was running, because that was something that they were going to be able to lean on while he developed a little bit as a passer.
Okay.
And
the security blanket.
Yeah. They know that, hey, on 3rd and 6, they can call a quarterback draw and use that. But I thought the legs would be more of a move the pocket here, play action boot there. Oh, right. 3rd and 12, here's a QB draw.
Yes.
And it goes for 13 yards against Chicago. It's the quarterback powers specifically that don't make any sense to me.
Zero.
It's not that running with Trey Lance is not bad. That's part of his skill set. It's part of what makes him special. But why are you running him into the middle of the line where there's defensive linemen, there's linebackers a few yards behind those defensive linemen who are reading run and getting downhill very quickly. That's how this injury happened. Lance trying to avoid a hit, starts to kind of fall down, gets hit, ankle sticks underneath him, and now his season's over.
I think we hadn't even really understood what happened last week against the Bears when we saw them doing the same thing. We're thinking, there's no way this is sustainable.
Right.
Maybe it's because of the weather. And yes, it's a little wet out there today. Everybody drive safe if you're driving. Yes, it's a little wet out there today, but nothing like last week. And he's doing the same thing. And to your point, I understand it's football, Kyle, but come on now. There's something to be said about, okay, yeah, you can get robbed at any point in time, but walking around a certain area at 3 in the morning, you have a higher likelihood of getting into trouble. When you run your quarterback, yes, it's football, but when you put him in a position to get injured, just like you said, between the tackles, yeah, it's all football, but you're more likely to get injured if you keep running him through the tackles and running him over and over again. And I get the security blanket thing, but to me, it's just reckless. And we saw a lot of it last weekend as well. When it was wet, it was slippery. They were down 9. And I'm thinking, I mean, I'm not saying to say uncle here and give up by any stretch of the imagination, but this is getting a little crazy. It's getting a little crazy already.
Yeah, and I guess if they didn't feel that Trey Lance was ready to sit back and throw it a little bit,
right?
Then what? Then he's not far enough along. And that was kind of the issue. He threw it 3 times, and you said that third designed run was the one that did him in. And we saw it last week. There were a couple plays where it's like, man, Trey Lance is not good at self-preservation.
No.
That is a skill that a quarterback needs to have in the modern NFL.
Yeah.
It's something Russell Wilson has been great at. It's something Cam Newton was terrible at.
Right. And again, if you're just now tuning in, obviously the Niners get the job done 27-7. But the bigger story here, per Adam Schefter, this is from his tweet. 49ers QB Trey Lance suffered a significant ankle injury today that is expected to require surgery that likely will end his season, per source.
Yeah. So it's probably season over. And if you saw the way they got him onto the cart, and when the air cast comes out,
it's never
that it's pretty rare that anything good is going to happen. So, this is less like let's not even look at this from a standpoint of Trey Lance and the 49ers this year. This is devastating, not so much for that, but this means whenever Trey Lance does come back, let's say it's next season, he's not, I don't want to call him at square one, but he is several squares behind where he would have been had he gotten to play this entire year.
Yeah.
And that's what's devastating. Like, can they win with Jimmy Garoppolo? Absolutely. We've seen it. And Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the quarterback. He came in, did a fine job today, and we can talk about him. But this is a longer-term issue now. This goes beyond the 2022 season. Like, this is why they kept Jimmy Garoppolo. Because if Lance went down, hey, they can still go beat the Seahawks soundly. And it's not a disaster. Can you imagine if it was Brock Purdy back there today?
I mean, that's fine, right? I still don't like the business model, to me. Unless they win the whole thing this year, it's just a stupid business model. And I'm off. I've always been off the whole sit him a year. Do we think Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to be Patrick Mahomes if he didn't sit behind Alex Smith? I'm off. So now, okay, last year, he wasn't ready. We were never planning on playing Trey Lance. Now this year he gets injured. From the decision to move up in the draft when you had no clue who you're going to get, to picking Trey Lance, who needed to be developed, and having a team that was already ready to go, and now an injury, it's a mess. It's a mess. And Kyle Shanahan, he's going to have to eat this crow because it's ridiculous.
Eat this crow? How? The plan worked. Their backup quarterback had to come in. It's a
mediocre plan,
but their season's not over now.
It's a stupid plan.
He lost 2018 to a quarterback injury.
Sure.
He lost 2020 to multiple quarterback injuries.
Okay, so now
he has 2022 where his starting quarterback goes down, and they have a quarterback now who's not Brock Purdy. They have a quarterback now who's not Nick Mullins.
Okay, but that's fine. So you're saying
a quarterback that can win games for them.
That's fine. So, all right, because we have Jimmy G, let's run Trey Lance into the ground?
No. That's a separate issue. Jimmy Garoppolo being around has nothing to do with how they should or should not play Trey Lance. You can't continue to put your quarterback in that situation for sure, regardless whether it's you, me, Brock Purdy, or Jimmy Garoppolo behind Trey Lance. So I think that's a separate part of the conversation, but keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, this is part of the reason they did it. We need to hit a break. Your calls on the other side, 888-957-9570. Are you blaming Kyle Shanahan? How do you feel about this season? Because now this season takes on a very, very different vibe as the 49ers get back in the win column, 27-7. Trey Lance likely done for the year with a significant ankle injury, according to Adam Schefter. He's going to need surgery. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, and we'll get to a nice little bounce back performance for the 49ers overall, one they needed.
Yes.
But this QB story is the headliner, and we're going to stick with that. I'm Kyle Madsen. He's Alan Stiles. We're on Overtime on 95.7 The Game.
Bart is turning 50, and we'd love to celebrate with you. Get 50% off your ride in honor of Bart's 50 years of service to the Bay Area when you pay with Clipper. That's 50% off Clipper Bart fares for the entire month of September. Add Clipper to your digital wallet for free. If you're eligible for other Clipper discounts like youth or senior fares, you get to take an additional 50% off those too. Details at bart.gov/50 years. That's bart.gov/50 years. Celebrate Bart's 50 years of service with us this September. Let's go.
Ever since I got the new Galaxy Z Flip 4, I've been learning all these new tricks with my dog Finn. Like how to take the best selfies at the park. I just set my phone down, put it in flex mode, and capture hands-free pics from multiple angles. Aww. Or how to capture our training sessions for his followers. I simply wave my hand to start recording video. Good boy! Plus, the Z Flip 4 is compact and fits perfectly in my pocket.
Oh, wow. Visit Samsung.com today to get the new Galaxy Z Flip 4.
Golfers, tee it up this fall at the Golf Mart for big savings. Save up to $150 off on Ping G425 woods. Upgrade your gear with discounted Wilson standard cart golf bags and stock up on TaylorMade Distance Plus golf balls. Now 2 dozen for $35. Don't miss these items and more happening now at the Golf Mart and get a free custom fitting today. The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
I used to get frequent heartburn at night, so I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine.
With just one pill, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn all day and night.
It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
This football season, adopt a new tradition that's sure to turn fans into family. The Jim Beam Highball. That's beam and soda over ice with a lemon slice. Share one at the stadium or make one at home. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2022, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
What's your retirement look like? With Fidelity Income Planning, a dedicated advisor can help you create a flexible income strategy to grow and protect your wealth so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services member NYSE SIPC.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, back to Overtime with Kyle Madsen and Alan Stiles on 95.7 The Game.
Trey Lance's season likely over in a game where the 49ers beat the Seahawks 27-7. So the 49ers did what they needed to do. Mm-hmm. They came home. They bounced back after a tough loss to the Bears. They didn't commit stupid penalties. Jeff Wilson Jr. looked much better.
Yes.
Ty Davis-Price looked like an NFL running back. Brandon Ayuk had a huge game. Deebo Samuel bounced back. They did all this without George Kittle. None of it matters.
No.
It's so hard to feel good about the 49ers being at 1-1. They looked excellent today, and they kicked the crap out of the Seahawks. That's the first time they've beat the Seahawks by more than a score since week 1 of the 2011 season.
Yeah. Well, and look, you can only play who's in front of you. Right. And the Seahawks, I can't even call them fraudulent because I'm not sure that anybody thought they were going to be anything. They just had a great game against Russell Wilson, obviously homecoming, and it was at home, which is a big deal. It's actually a big deal when you play in Seattle. But kudos to the Niners for doing what they needed to do, right? Obviously, we know Jimmy understands how to run the offense, and they're going to be good. They're going to be a good team. They could win the Super Bowl. That's not out of the realm of possibility. But to me, it still is a reflection. I still don't want to let Kyle Shanahan off the hook in terms of play calling and things like that because the plan just never made sense. From day one, right? And we're going to get the calls. I know we got some calls coming through right now.
Elaborate, please.
Well, because this guy needed the most work, and the team was ready to go. So, and I'm not even taking it to the whole Mac Jones thing. I'm just saying that we knew that Trey Lance needed reps. So we were all really excited to see what he did today because last week we gave him a bit of a mulligan and things of that nature, and now he's going to miss another year. So these are years that he is not. Last year was the decision to not play him, and now this season he gets injured. I mean, at this point, the timeline might match up in terms of this core might be gone by the time we see Trey Lance's prime, and Jimmy might just finish it off, and maybe they do win the whole thing. I mean, the NFC is wide open.
So that's what's fascinating about this. So Trey Lance, who I thought today, he only threw it 3 times, but I thought he looked better. Mm-hmm. There was a play, the third down play in the red zone, pressure coming down, he stands in, he delivers a throw to a tightly covered Jeff Wilson. Yeah. Throw was where it needed to be, and it came with pressure in his face, and he was awful against pressure in Chicago.
Right.
Was better against pressure today, and it's like, cool, that's growth. That's tangible growth. That's what you want to see. Oh, it's over. Pull the plug on development. So that's there's okay, with the Niners trying to thread the 2 timelines, this injury now breaks into 2 pieces.
Right.
So there's the Trey Lance plug pulled on his development and his season, and now it's a question mark what he's going to look like going into 2023. The other part of this is something that you said is like, do you feel a little better about their chances to win it now? Because there's not that question mark of what if Trey doesn't develop? What if he doesn't get better and he's just kind of just behind the 8 ball a little bit all year? Well, now you have a guy who's been there, who is that stabilizing force at quarterback. And maybe you know your ceiling, and you know that to reach that ceiling, you've got to be excellent in every other facet. But your floor now comes up quite a bit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I feel any better because they always had Jimmy as the security blanket. So even if Trey ended up not playing well, let's say he didn't play well today or didn't play well against Denver, they could have always pulled the plug and you would have had Jimmy either way. So I wouldn't say I feel better. I feel like we know there's less of a surprise now. Now we know, okay, well, Jimmy, they're going to have a chance. We know Jimmy's limited, but we know Jimmy can do the job. So they're going to be around. They're going to have opportunities, and we'll see what happens, right? I would take the Niners up against anybody. Like I said, that NFC is wide open. But when you get up against these other elite quarterbacks, what are you going to do? Now, the question is, whether it's Jimmy or Trey Lance, how much would Trey Lance have been developed by the time it was time to play the Josh Allens of the world or whoever, and that we don't know. But now, yes, we know that. Number one, how funny is it now to think about, oh, did they just get Jimmy or keep Jimmy because now he's more tradable? It was never about that. I think people, and again, and I'll give kudos to Jimmy because they said that there were offers and they decided to not, Jimmy and his camp decided this was the best decision. I wasn't at training camp every day. You weren't at training camp every day. Apparently, Jimmy knew something. Now, whether it was about play or whatever the case may be, Jimmy thought they're running this guy. It could be Jimmy thought they're running this guy a lot. And, do I want to go to, I don't know, enter whatever bad team and try to save them or just kick it here and see what happens? Hey, preparation and being ready for situations. If you ain't, you don't got to get ready if you stay ready. And Jimmy understood that I'm on a team. And apparently they're trying to run this guy like he's Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, somebody like that. And you couldn't even get through the second game. Ridiculous.
It's fascinating because when you watched Trey Lance last year as a rookie, it was clear the way he moves and his running style. It's like, man, he's not Lamar Jackson.
No.
He might not even be Josh Allen.
No.
But that's not why the Niners picked him. The Niners picked him because he's extremely smart. He can understand the offense. He can turn his back to the defense and play action, turn back around and reset his eyes and make a throw. His arm strength is better. It allows him to throw it. Like, there were reasons they took him that had nothing to do with his running ability, which is why the fact they had so many designed runs for him in this game was baffling.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. 888-957-9570. Let me know if I'm missing something. Because I thought when they drafted Trey Lance that his throwing would be the main course and would be the main entree, and that the running would be the side, the mashed potatoes, the asparagus, not the filet mignon, not the ribeye. And apparently I missed something because it seems like that was the main course, and Trey throwing was on the side. And to your point, like we spoke about in the last segment, maybe that's because Trey isn't there yet throwing the football. But I would then go back to, okay, well, that goes back to the decision to pick Trey Lance. Anyway, now you got to put this guy in harm's way more than you would like to because you don't trust him throwing the football. Going into this game, I wanted to see Trey in those 7 yards out. 7 yards out in the red zone, throw the football.
Yes.
And they just weren't going to do it. We knew very early they were not going to do that.
And I get the idea of the 49ers ran it 45 times today. That was clearly they thought they could move the Seahawks off the defensive line or off the line of scrimmage and run the football. And they did that, even without Elijah Mitchell. And that was a concern coming in, right? What do they do without Elijah Mitchell? Run game was stagnant in Chicago. Well, Jeff Wilson Jr. was really good today. Ty Davis-Price was really good today. Deebo Samuel was effective as always today. Why are you then also running Trey Lance?
I don't know.
Three designed runs in a game, not necessarily bad. But
it's the first quarter.
When it's in the first quarter, that's where it's like, oh, that was in the game plan.
Yeah.
They were going to, had he stayed healthy, he was probably going to run it 12, 13 times again.
And honestly, you could make the argument, you never want to see anybody go down, but if you're going to run Trey at this clip, you might actually say, okay, well, at least it happened now and not the day and not week 17, 18, right before the playoffs. Because if it didn't happen at this moment against the Seahawks, it was going to happen because they weren't going to stop running him unless Kyle Shanahan saw something in practice that said, okay, now I feel more comfortable throwing the football. But it was going to, there's no way it wasn't going to happen running like this. QB powers, really?
That's what I don't, there's so many more ways to be creative. than that. And that's what bothered. It's not that he was running. It's the type of runs and the fact that he did that against Arizona last year. It didn't work. He got hurt. Shanahan said they don't want to do that many designed runs for him. But then it felt like it was part of the game plan. And I don't know how that's helping develop your quarterback as a passer. That's what doesn't quite make sense to me. Justin in Alameda, he wants to talk about Kyle Shanahan in regards to Trey Lance. Justin, you're on Overtime with Kyle and Styles. What's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So, great. The win happened. Awesome. That's great. And you're all hitting it on the button here for me. The thing with me is that I'm seeing a pattern with Kyle Shanahan, and it ties back to his ego a little bit. Like, it seems every time Shanahan has been in the Super Bowl, he has been with a pocket passing quarterback. So I want to know who was sitting in that draft war room and was like, okay, this is the guy. I can develop this guy. I think Shanahan's ego is getting in the way. Like, he thought he could develop Trey Lance, and like you said, the team is ready. So why did you draft this? And nothing to take Trey Lance, he's an incredible athlete. But why did you draft this kid who had 14 games when there's been times when you have other players like Herbert and Mahomes and Watson and Jackson? And if you were going to run this kid 3 or 4 times up the middle, then why did you do that? Like, why did you draft Lance? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, did Kyle say my ego?
So I thanks for the call, Justin. That's the confusing part, is they didn't draft Trey Lance because he can run. They drafted him because that was, like you said, that was a nice little luxury to have.
Right.
Where, hey, when it's 3rd and 6 and a play breaks down, he can pick up that first down with his legs. Or, defenses have to game plan for the couple of QB runs they're going to do a game.
Yeah.
Or they can use that as a decoy on a Debo jet sweep where linebacker's got to keep his eyes on Lance for that extra split second that allows Debo to get the corner. Things like that.
Yeah.
And they thought Lance could be and would be a good pocket passer. That's why they drafted him. They didn't draft him because he's an athlete and we'll figure out the passing later. Like, no, it's the other way around.
Right.
But what was... I would love to know what... And Kyle Shanahan just confirmed real quick. Kyle Shanahan did just confirm that Trey Lance has a broken ankle. He'll have season-ending surgery tomorrow. So his season is over. As we presumed when he was taken off with an air cast, Adam Schefter then reported it would likely be season-ending surgery. Now Kyle Shanahan is saying that it will be season-ending surgery that Trey Lance will undergo tomorrow after the ankle injury he suffered in the first quarter in the 49ers win over the Seahawks. So that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Shanahan's ego. Just to get back to what Justin was saying, I don't think there's ego involved here. I think this was Shanahan looking at what Lance does and where he is developmentally.
Yes.
And saying, hey, the best way for us to move the ball right now is by mixing in more of these QB runs. And maybe by week 9 or 10,
right.
Those are
and now we'll never know.
Right. And now we won't.
It reeks of two things. To Justin's point, it reeks of two things. Either one, Kyle Shanahan thinking that he's the smartest person in the room, and I'm gonna getting a little too cute, and I'm gonna do things and run Trey Lance here and there, and nobody's gonna expect it. Or two, amidst the whole we're giving Trey the keys thing, and he's ready to go, and everyone talking good about Trey, and he's gonna be this guy. He wasn't ready, just like Kevin Hart says. He wasn't ready. Everybody that's been saying he can do this, he can do that. I was looking forward to this week because I wanted to see Trey Lance make a couple different types of throws. When he has excelled, even last week, they're all similar throws. I said, okay, what is he going to be able to do this week? And that is basically one thing we can take from this. It's either Kyle Shanahan thinking he's the smartest person in the room, or Trey Lance was not where we all thought he was developmentally. He wasn't close. Not close, because early in the game, Kyle, I'm not throwing the football. He's running. He was scared. They were scared to allow Trey Lance to throw the football.
So I don't know if it was, is it fear of letting him throw the football, or is it an over-reliance on the run game against a Seattle defense that struggled against the run some against Denver, and they struggled against the run today. The Niners ran the ball really, really effectively. So I think there's maybe some of it that is, hey, you know what? We don't necessarily want to put it on Trey Lance's arm, But I think there's another part of it that's like, yeah, hey, we can run the ball for 5 yards a pop against this defense, and our quarterback can be one of those people that's going to make Seattle play 11 on 11. And that's fine. That makes sense. But then Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, and they're going empty set 5 wide. They're going play action. They're throwing on second down. 3rd and 8, go for it. 4th and 8, go for it. 2 deep shots. It's like, where's that with Lance in the game?
They don't feel comfortable.
I guess not. But that's a coaching problem then.
The whole top to bottom, right? I mean, tell us you swung and missed without telling us you swung and missed. That's what we saw from the difference in play calling.
Yeah. And maybe, again, this is not to punt on Trey Lance. This is to say, and this is kind of my thought after week 1, was there's development that has to happen. And the 49ers' struggle this season is going to be how much development they are going to allow before they pull that plug. And in my head, I thought they were like, hey, it's Lance's team. Unless it gets really bad and he's just not getting better.
Right.
But like I said, even today, the small sample, he threw 3 passes. And I thought he looked more comfortable. And he looked better. Which to me says, then let him throw it more. Let him get more comfortable. Even in a game I know they had to win, and I know this is another problem with Kyle Shanahan. Getting away from Trey Lance for a second. Kyle Shanahan manages games like an NFL coach in the 1950s. It's like it is a 4th down, we're taking the points here. 4th and 8, well, you can't. It's 4th, you got to punt here.
Well, then they went for it on 4th and 8 randomly.
With Garoppolo, and I get they were in a weird spot of the field, but like the field goal that got blocked that Seattle returned for a touchdown is insane.
Yeah.
Like, why are you kicking a field goal there on 4th and goal from the 2? Just go for it.
Right. And then
they go for it later and they score a touchdown.
Right. And then the thing is, when you look at taking the training wheels off, and we'll never know because Trey didn't get to the end of the game, but what was the process supposed to be? Were you going to let them air it out against the better teams, right? I mean, if you're going to improve and get better every single day, the Seahawks, that's a good team to do it against. And I get it, they're bad against the run, but at what point were you going to let Trey throw? That's why I'm saying this injury was going to happen. It was going to happen. It was just a matter of when.
Feels like it. 888-957-9570 if you want to join the conversation. Joe is in San Jose. He says this is not on Trey Lance. I'm inclined to agree. Joe, what do you got for us?
Oh, my God. You guys broke this down. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Joe. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, this is on Kyle Shanahan. That's like committing suicide for Trey Lance. That was horrible, horrible. Trey Lance did everything Kyle Shanahan told him to do. He did it. So it's not all on. It has nothing to do with the development. He did what he did. He made some good throws. It's just that the game plan that he had for Trey Lance and Jimmy G were different. And I just think I'm just in shock by Kyle Shanahan. It's just all on Kyle Shanahan that he got hurt.
All right, thanks, Joe. Kyle Shanahan said after the game, quote, Buffalo does it all the time with their quarterback. It's a pretty normal play. It's a part of football, and it's unfortunate he hurt his ankle on it, but it's a very normal play. You guys should watch some other people.
Wow. Okay, so earlier I talked about smartest guy in the room. That stinks. Kyle Shanahan, it's not good enough, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You blew it last week. All those, 12 penalties for 99 yards. Your team wasn't ready to play.
Correct.
Your team was not ready to play last week. That's on you. Take some accountability, all right? I know this is about the Niners, but what does Draymond say? Stand on your word, all right?
Okay,
Stand on your word, man.
I get it. I get it. But on the other hand, what is he supposed to say?
Get up there. At some point, they're just
like that play's too dangerous. I'm taking it out of the playbook. You can't do that.
But at some point, look, the script. They all follow the script. Oh, we're just so surprised that Jimmy Garoppolo was available, and why wouldn't we take him? When deep down they knew they swung and missed on the pick. Right? Trey Lance wasn't ready. He can't throw the football. That's the only thing I can say. If I'm not going to say that Kyle Shanahan is just completely reckless, is that Trey Lance was not ready to throw the football. And if he wasn't ready to throw the football, then no, he's not going to come out and say it. They're not going to come out and say it. But you swung and missed. You did. You missed. And that's why you had to get Jimmy G. So stop acting like, oh, there's 32 starting quarterbacks and we have two of them.
So you would advocate they trade Trey Lance? You think he's done? You're punting on him.
I'm not saying Trey Lance is done. I'm saying why would you?
They swung and missed.
They swung and missed for their situation.
You think Trey Lance isn't good?
For their situation. Trey Lance on a team that is trash? Different.
Yeah.
Trey Lance on the Niners? Makes no sense.
They're trying to thread an impossible needle.
Makes no sense. I was in 6th grade, Kyle, and I didn't know what to do for a science project, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to try to grow plants using orange juice. And I poured orange juice on top of plants for 2-3 weeks. I got a B-, and it just grew mold.
Great for plants.
It just grew mold. It was pointless, and I knew it wasn't going to work, but I was lazy, and I missed, and I didn't want to own up to it. Kyle Shanahan needs to own up to it.
His Trey plants.
Trey was the orange juice and the plants, and he messed up.
Trey plants,
and he messed up. He just missed.
Yeah, it's not like a thing like somebody brought up James Wiseman in the green room during the game, and like James Wiseman, you can afford to play. In basketball, you can afford to play a player 12 minutes a game and be like, here's your development. With the quarterback, you can't say like, hey, you're going to play 1 quarter a game. Or you're going to play half the snaps.
Right.
You can't do that. So you at some point just kind of have to go all in. And I actually commend the 49ers, at least I did, for taking a swing that not a lot of NFL teams will take. You see teams get very conservative. We saw the Bengals do it with Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis. That pairing got Cincinnati exactly nowhere except first-round exits, but they stuck with it because it was comfortable, and they could say they went to the playoffs. And the Niners reached a point with Jimmy Garoppolo where they said, hey, this guy's either hurt or our ceiling is too tough to reach with him, so we're going to go outside the box and we're going to take this massive swing for a quarterback with those traits. And I respect the hell out of that. What I don't respect is the fact that they then refused to commit to that once Lance was in the building.
Right.
And they hedged with Jimmy Garoppolo, which, again, this goes to now the second prong of this, turned out to be great business. Because it worked.
It was always great business, though.
They could have had an issue today where that play happens, and now they have Brock Purdy quarterbacking for them. And maybe they lose to Seattle, or maybe they beat them. But either way, we're talking about this season as though it's over.
And no. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to take it there. We were all surprised that they held on to Brock Purdy. We didn't know if it was Nate Sudfeld, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy might throw the football better than Trey Lance. He might. He might throw the football better than Trey Lance.
He's played and this comes down to the problem now with this Lance injury. Brock Purdy played a ton more football than Trey Lance. And that was the Niners, Shanahan said they didn't really know what they were getting because the tape sample was so limited. So you're just projecting. He's got all these traits, he's smart as hell, and he's going to figure it out. Great. But then, give him the keys, dog. Let him go throw it. Let him go make a play. This is your quarterback that you chose. You're starting him. Don't put if you cannot give him the full playbook and he cannot be the quarterback that you want him to be, you're telling yourself and you're telling your fans and you're telling your team when you start with Trey Lance, there's going to be some mistakes. We're going to learn from them. We're going to grow from them. But then he's not letting him make mistakes. He's doing quarterback power 3 times in 2 drives.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're not going to allow them to make mistakes, them as in Trey Lance, if you're not going to let Trey Lance make mistakes against the Seahawks, we were never going to... I don't know how the development was ever going to happen.
Right. And it's a little bit the same thing with what we saw with Trey Sermon and Ty Davis-Price. 2 highly drafted rookie running backs. Again, not 3rd overall picks, but when you draft a running back in the 3rd round, that player needs to play and produce. But Shanahan doesn't suffer the growing pains of rookies unless he absolutely has to. And so he put Trey Lance in, and he thought, okay, the best way that we can get the most out of him is by making him more of a running quarterback than we want him to be.
Right.
And it backfired.
And I don't think, again... There's no time in the NFL, right? And that's why when they said they were fixing his hitch and things like that, the hitchy woo-woo, when they said they were fixing all that stuff, we were still confused because you know when the game is on the line and the pressure is coming, what are you going to do? You're going to revert back to what you're used to.
Right.
So I never bought into Trey Lance being able to change his throwing motion in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Come on.
It's not drastic mechanical changes. So that development's on hold now. I see all of you guys, phone lines lit up. I see all of you. We'll get to you on the other side. We'll also hear from Kyle Shanahan on the other side because he got asked about running Trey Lance so much. We'll hear that when we get back. He's Alan Stiles. I'm Kyle Madsen. This is Overtime on 95.7.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or dishwashers, but you will find the best deals on the best TVs, soundbars, and home theater systems. Shop around, but then make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry. In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael.
Video Only.
At Harris Ranch, we do beef, just like we've done for over 50 years. Beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. The flavor you crave, the quality you trust time after delicious time. Come on, it's time to get out and grill. Harris Ranch, we do beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
Elise and Carl's Bakery needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Really? Carl? There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com. And if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
We're on a journey to make healthcare more accessible and more equitable, to treat the most complex diseases and offer hope where often there is little, to provide better care to more people across the Bay Area. We are more than a hospital, more than a university, beyond science and technology. We are the people of UCSF. UCSF Health, redefining possible.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Progressive presents Married to Your Home.
If you want to leave me for another house, I totally understand.
House? Where's this coming from?
It's just, I know there's some newer homes on the market.
I didn't even know that because I'm not looking.
I bet those other houses don't have a crack in their foundations.
You know that crack doesn't bother me.
No matter how much you already love your house, you'll love it more knowing you could save big bundling your home and auto with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale September 16th through the 19th and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Everyone, who's manning the front tonight?
Big E's nightclub needs a bouncer with a military background.
Dougie, I need you to keep eyes on the back.
Security who lays down the no-no when the uns get too intense.
That Swedish DJ duo is back tonight. Y'all remember last time.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hurry into the Energy Savings Event at Lowe's. Save energy and save money on select major appliances, including Whirlpool energy efficient appliances. You can also save with the smart thermostat. Right now, select Google Nest Learning thermostats are $60 off. Plus, find other great energy saving items throughout the store and check your eligibility for rebates in your area to save even more. Don't miss the Energy Savings Event at Lowe's. Selection varies by location. Exclusions apply. Visit Lowe's.com for details. Valid through 9/28.
Now, back to Overtime with Kyle Madsen and Alan Stiles on 95.7 The Game.
All right, 49ers win 27-7, but Trey Lance is hurt. He is going to have ankle surgery. He is out for the season. He's due to have that ankle surgery tomorrow. Kyle Shanahan, after the game, talked about his decision to run Trey Lance so much.
Anytime a guy gets hurt, I wish I didn't call that. But no, that's something we were going to do and something we would continue to do. And that's a football play we believe in and something that gives him a chance to be real successful in this league.
Your thoughts?
I think what's weird to me is that on some teams you see that the backup QB kind of mirrors who the starting QB is. I think off the top of my head, you have Huntley, who with the Ravens when Lamar went down, Tyler Huntley was able to come in and take care of business. Obviously, they didn't make the playoffs and make any noise, but the offense was used to it. It was similar. It's so bizarre to me to have two completely different quarterbacks and two, you could even say, completely different playbooks, right? Because that offense with Trey Lance completely different than with Jimmy Garoppolo.
So that's what's fascinating. Is Kyle Shanahan always says that you want a quarterback, a backup with a similar skill set to your starter. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason that they have Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance is because they were anticipating Trey Lance throwing the ball more.
Yeah.
And just kind of running the Niners' normal offense with a sprinkle of the running stuff. But it was definitely not that today. Shanahan, though, pushed back quite a bit when asked about that play specifically, because I guess he got asked about it a few times, and he got a little spicy with it.
You guys watch other teams in this league? Buffalo does it all the time. With their quarterbacks, pretty normal play. Part of football, and it's unfortunate that he hurt his ankle on it. But it's a very normal ran play. You guys should watch some other people.
Dang.
He knows.
He's big mad.
Yeah, he's going to take it out on everybody else. You know what, Kyle Shanahan? Go home today, right? Before you start to get chippy, or you already did get chippy with the media because they're asking you questions that they have to ask because it's their job. And before you want to get chippy again for your next media availability, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
Okay. So I understand the anger, but at the same time, would you make that same argument for plays where Jimmy Garoppolo is standing in the pocket and he gets planted and he injures his shoulder? Would you say, hey, that's Kyle Shanahan's fault because he didn't have Jimmy Garoppolo moving the pocket?
Well, it depends, right?
That's kind of how it sounds to me.
But
like, that's how that comes across. Like, if Trey Lance had gotten hurt on a design pass play that broke down and he now tries to flush out of the pocket and run, is that on Shanahan for not calling a quicker pass?
But again, Kyle,
on some level, like,
it's football, but like I said, when are you more likely to be robbed? At 2 a.m. or at 2 p.m.? Probably 2 a.m. Can you get robbed at either time? Yes, but you are more likely to be robbed at 2 a.m.
Okay.
It's the same thing. Yes, it's football. It's football, but you are now adding on to it. You're right. It is football. So on top of it already being one of the most aggressive, dangerous sports that we have ever come up with, on top of that, now we're going to put you in positions where you could even get more injured, right? Or you're more likely to be injured. On top of it being already football, now we're going to run you in between tackles like a running back who, last time I checked, running backs are the most expendable players when it comes to the skill positions because they get hurt so much.
Yeah, and I guess the bigger problem I have than the QB power, because if that's going to be a play they're going to run and that's what's going to happen. He got hurt on it. Fine. I don't understand it on 2nd and 8.
Yeah. I mean, it's their go-to.
Yeah, and Shanahan said that there's another thing, and I don't know if we have the sound of it yet, but he said that was the same play call that Debo broke for a 50-yard run. And it's like, well, that's not Debo Samuel. It's Trey Lance, dude. Like, that's a bigger-bodied, not as fast, less quick quarterback. Like, you can't... That to me doesn't make that play. If you want to do that on 3rd and 1 or 4th and goal, okay, I get it. But on 2nd and 8, just to get yourself to 3rd and 6, that is the issue I have.
Yeah.
Is the lack of creativity and the play. Like, what's that designed to do? You're going to get a couple yards. And then you're going to have 3rd and manageable.
It's just bizarre to me, man. And I get it. Even if you don't want to throw the football, like we said, okay, maybe Trey Lance isn't there developmentally and you're not ready for him to throw it in certain situations. Why do you have running backs on the roster? You don't want to run any of them. I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. had a great game today, but you want to put Debo back there. You want to run Trey Lance and QB Powers. Why do you have running backs? Why do you keep any? You don't like using them. Oh, I forgot why you like running backs. They continue to get injured. Elijah Mitchell, injured. Jeff Wilson's been injured before. The way that Kyle Shanahan schemes these things, I don't know, Kyle. It's starting to... Where there's smoke, there's fire. It's just not making sense to me. It's not making sense to me.
I think part of it is the outside zone stuff, because you get linebackers and defensive ends flying up the edge, and you have a running back hitting the corner hard and getting upfield hard at top speed with linebackers and safeties flying downhill to meet him. So I think that's definitely part of it. But this play today for Trey Lance was such a freak thing, the way he kind of awkwardly went to like get out of the way of a big hit that was coming, and then his foot just got caught underneath him as he went down. It sucks, but like I said, the QB power, whatever, it's the QB power on 2nd and 8. Like, that play wasn't going to get them anywhere. And that part doesn't make that much sense.
The probability, now that we have, I mean, just in 1 1/4 game of Trey Lance, now that we've seen what they were doing with Trey Lance, I feel confident in saying that Kyle Shanahan, he'll never say this, never expected Trey Lance to make it the whole season. Not running that much, he never did. That's why they got Jimmy Garoppolo. Because if he knew that they were going to run Trey Lance that much, he would have been surprised if he lasted the whole season. There's no way.
Yeah, I definitely think there was an injury hedge built in there.
Yes.
Where they didn't want to lose a season if Trey Lance got hurt. And now they have Jimmy Garoppolo, who looked fine today.
No, he looked great. He looked great against the Seahawks. I know they beat Denver. I don't know what Denver is. They might be fraudulent. Russell Wilson might be washed. So we don't know what to take away. We'll know a lot more when they face off against Denver next week.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football.
I just... Going back to Trey Lance and where he was at, I'm curious, and we know we've had multiple people on the show. Trey Lance had a good day. He had a bad day. He's like the stock market, right? Volatile.
Sure.
He was up, he was down. He was up, he was down. I want to know at what point during training camp did Kyle Shanahan have a conversation with John Lynch? Did they have a conversation and decide Trey's not there yet? He just ain't there yet. And we're going to have to talk to Jimmy, see what we want to do here, because we're going to have to run Trey. It's going to be a lot of backyard football, and backyard football can lead to injuries. So let's, number one, talk about how we're going to use Trey, and number two, talk about how can we figure out what the deal is with Jimmy Garoppolo, because he ain't ready. He's just not. And now's not the time, right? When something goes wrong, now's not the time to play the blame game because we got to start a season. The bottom line is Trey's not ready. We're going to have to run him more than we initially would have liked.
Yeah.
So let's get Jimmy. We're going to have to figure out something.
That's what it feels like. Big Game James has been waiting in San Francisco. He wants to talk about Kyle Shanahan. Big Game James, you're on overtime with Alan Stiles and Kyle Madsen. What's up, buddy?
Hey, really tough win to watch. I can't help but think about someone like RG3. And I don't know what it is with Kyle, but with the mobile quarterback things, he just does not have a knack for the play calling with the mobile QB. I just don't get it. Like, the play designs for Jimmy versus how they ushered Kyle in were just so different, and they did not protect him at all. The first game of the season, Roquan Smith almost killed Trey Lance. Like, he was getting annihilated out there, and they kept dialing up these draw plays. I don't know what's up with that, but, as soon as Jimmy G comes into the game, we got, we went with the old school ground and pound. I don't get it. I don't know why Trey didn't see that type of play design in the first game, or why the game was called so differently, where were just handing them the ball off, the franchise QB. But yeah, this is squarely on Kyle, and hearing them say that that's a normal play in the NFL. Yeah, maybe for some QBs like Josh Allen, who's been around, whatever, these other mobile QBs. This guy, it's basically his first year as a starting QB, and they already ran him into the ground second game in.
All right, thanks, James. I want to push back on the RG3 thing real quick, because placing blame on Kyle Shanahan for a fumbled snap that RG3 slipped while trying to recover and have his knee bend sideways, that's not on the play calling. That's outrageous. There's a lot that gets put on Kyle Shanahan, deservedly so. Do not come down his road for the Robert Griffin III injury when that play had nothing to do with him. That's outrageous. Don't do that. You can blame him for this play call. You can blame him for Trey not being ready. I think you can blame him for not just this play call, but just kind of the game plans in general and not trusting his quarterback. You can blame him for all of that. But to say, like, hey, it's a running quarterback thing with Kyle Shanahan because he just can't keep... Like, nah, man. The RG3 play was a freak play, and the Trey Lance thing, end of the day, was a freak play.
I don't know that you can say there's no correlation, though. I don't know that you can say there's completely no correlation. And even if you can, that's going to be the take. It's going to be the take.
That's a bad take. That's my point. He got injured on a play where he fumbled a snap. He was in shotgun. The snap didn't get to him. He looks down, and his foot slips.
Yeah.
I want to... How does that... Tell me how, please.
I mean, look, the bottom line is all this stuff, Kyle Shanahan, and fans have a right to be upset because he sounds smug. He sounds smug.
He does.
He sounds smug, and that's not a good look.
Good.
It's not a good look. We can say all you want about Lamar. We can say all we want about Josh Allen, even Justin Herbert to a certain degree. All these quarterbacks that run as well. And Kyler Murray. The idea of, I think what's interesting is the whole idea of this being quote unquote normal. I think the only way to break it down is that it is until it isn't, right? If this happened to Josh Allen's ankle, he would no longer run this much. They're going to run him like that until he gets injured. So it's a normal play until he gets injured. So it doesn't mean that these are quote unquote normal plays or that they're putting their quarterback in harm's way. That's why we talk about it. So the norm isn't a safe norm. So Kyle Shanahan saying that it's a normal play. Yeah, that we talk about the same way with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, that you're putting your QB in harm's way. You, my friend, ended up being the one to get your QB injured.
Sure.
But the idea of this not being, it's just a football play. Other teams do it. They're all putting their QBs in harm's way.
He did say, let's listen, Sterling, on the decision to run Trey Lance so much. He does say that, I forget the exact wording. Let's listen to right at the top here.
Anytime a guy gets hurt, I wish I didn't call that. But no, that's something we were going to do, and something we would continue to do. And that's a football play we believe in, and something that gives him a chance to be real successful.
So right there at the top, he says, anytime a guy gets hurt, I wish I wouldn't have called that.
Right.
So the thing now is, when Trey Lance gets back, is that play gone out of the playbook? Is that a goal line only play? Is that something that Shanahan just goes, yeah, hey, you know what? This is the risk that we're going to run, which doesn't make a lot of sense unless they're going to bring Garoppolo back to be the backup again.
Right.
And they're just going to be like, yep, hey, we're just going to keep putting our starting QB in harm's way.
I mean, again, he's not going to be a better thrower of the football next year because he can't practice. He's injured. He can't do anything. So I don't know how they don't continue to run him. The whole thing, and that's why it feels disconnected to continue to talk about the pick, but it's all connected. It's all connected because getting the pick for a quarterback that you knew needed work, he didn't get enough work, then deciding to sit said quarterback and not give him reps, and now, quote unquote, give him the keys with his stepdad kicking it on the bench. They didn't give him the keys. And that's what I've been saying. They didn't give him a license. If they gave him the keys, all he had was his permit. He did not have his license because Jimmy Garoppolo was in the in the passenger seat with the driving coach's brake. You could just hit the brake whenever you want. That's what they did to Trey Lance. And okay, he's not ready. We're just going to run him into the ground. All right. Okay. Now you got Jimmy. Oh my gosh, it's a good thing we have Jimmy. And that's another thing. I'm not going to sit there and let them, oh wow, see, look, great. Good thing they have Jimmy. How would this have worked out if they didn't? I'm not going down that route. Because I'm not going down that route because they already knew the situation. They knew they were going to run Trey into the ground. That's why they got Jimmy. So don't be fooled by any, wow, if they hadn't got a Jimmy, just imagine where they'd be. This was all planned. I don't think that's fair. I don't think saying they planned for him to get hurt is fair. But you'd way rather have Jimmy Garoppolo than Brock Purdy. Yes.
And so to that end, would it have been better for the 49ers, especially down the road, had Trey Lance not gotten hurt? Yes. But now their season's not over. And that's what they wanted to avoid the entire time.
They never thought Trey was going to make it the whole season. I'm telling you that right now. That's obvious. That's very obvious. That's why they got Jimmy. Whether that was a hedge for bad play or injury or both. That's why they did it. Stu and Marin wants to bring up a point about Trey Lance as a runner. Let's get him on here on Overtime with Styles and Madsen. What's up, man?
You there? Yeah. I can't believe the point of view that you guys are taking. I have 100% diametric viewpoint. Last year, all we heard was put in Trey. Trey's mobile, Jimmy's a statue. Jimmy's a pocket passer. Jimmy's not dynamic. Okay, so Trey gets his chance. He runs a couple times, scripted plays, first quarter. It happens. He gets hurt. Why would you ever say that they intended to run him into the ground? That's absurd. Makes no sense at all.
Okay, thanks, Stu. So it's clear that they intended to do that because they ran him a bunch of times in week one and then started doing it again in week two.
I mean, QB powers on 2nd and 8. What are we doing? 209's chiming in, so Debo gets hurt is Kyle's fault. If they continue to put Debo in the backfield, and guess what? Business-wise, another smart decision by the Niners because they capped it at $650K, which Debo's going to blow out of the water, but they're not going to have to pay him more than that. I would. Last time I checked, Debo's a wide receiver. Until it says wide back, when they announced Debo's name, then I'm going to say yes. If you continue to put these guys in situations, like I said, man, yes, it's football. But if you're going to run Debo through the tackles over and over again, am I blaming that on Kyle or football? I mean, flip a coin. But to me, you're putting him in harm's way. 209, how much do they pay running backs? Why are running backs so expendable?
A lot. Right.
Why are they so expendable? Right? I mean, there's a correlation here with all of this. And it's the same thing with Trey Lance. So to the caller who's saying, does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. What we learned today in the small sample size that we saw from Trey Lance is that clearly Kyle Shanahan did not trust Trey Lance as a thrower of the football yet. That's what I learned.
It sure seems that way.
They were never going to say it because why would they, right? And let teams know, right? That's not something that you say. But that's what we learned. When in doubt, we're just going to run it with Trey. And that is why they got Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. And it worked. It worked this week.
Yeah.
But again, this is where there's two sides to this conversation, or there's two avenues of this conversation that don't line up. You can't talk about these things the same way, because for Lance, on side one of this conversation, this is a brutal, devastating blow to his development. This could not have been worse. This is absolute, hands down, the worst case scenario for Trey Lance. Because now he goes into 2023, presumably the starter. He'll get some off-season work. He'll get to work on some stuff. He's not going to be off his feet for 7 months.
Right.
He'll get back on his feet. Maybe he's not running and cutting and stuff, but he'll be able to throw. He'll be able to work on some stuff. That's great. Get to be in the classroom, fine. Gets another year of off-field development, but there's just things he's going to need to see and do on the field. So maybe he'll be a little bit ahead of where he was now by week 1 next year, but it is going to pale in comparison to where he could have been if he had gotten 17 starts under his belt and maybe a playoff game or two, depending on how that development went. On the other hand, let's just look at the 2022 49ers. They're in a spot now where they can still compete in the NFC.
Yeah.
And like you said, maybe that was why they kept Jimmy Garoppolo in the first place, is they said, hey, you know what? We're going to run it 12 times a game with Trey Lance, including some QB powers. And boy, he's not very good at self-preservation.
And it's the way that's a great point. It's the way he runs.
Right.
Look, Russell Wilson, he gets out the way. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. These guys are elusive. Trey is not elusive.
The most telling thing that happened all preseason, all training camp, your training camp stats, throw them in the trash. Don't care. The touchdown to Danny Gray against the Packers, don't care. The bad throw to George Kittle against the Texans, couldn't care less. The number one thing that stuck out from this preseason was when Trey Lance slid against the Packers. And after the game went, that's the first time I've ever slid in my life.
Yeah.
That's why he was taking so many hits against Chicago. It's why those QB powers, when that hole's not there and it's not like massive wide open, he should be just falling down. But that's not his style.
No.
He sees that linebacker coming and he's going to go, all right, hey, let's gear up.
And that's what I've been saying. And it sounds crazy. And I'm not trying to, I've been coming down Kyle Shanahan's road. It's far too late to say that I'm not. But when you see the injuries, right now, you don't have Elijah Mitchell. I don't know when's the last time they had a healthy running back room. You have to start to look at somebody. And I know it's football, and I know everybody has injuries, but you got to look at somebody. I don't know if it's the training staff, something, but these injuries, George Kittle, right, who everybody loves to say he's better than whoever. Well, I don't know. Talk to me when he's on the field, because these guys just aren't on the field. To me, what's coming off right now is that, I love Bart. We take Bart all the time. If you know that Bart is always running late or always has issues, and you leave your house early to catch Bart, and you get there, and because you left your house early, you were able to get away from the Bart issues, even though Bart ended up being late. Bart ended up being late, but you left early. So now you're still on time, right? You should still be upset that Bart is late. Just because they have Jimmy Garoppolo to save them, that shouldn't take away or negate the fact that they misused Trey Lance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's two separate. There's two conversations to have here. Because, okay, it's now moving on. Because if all you're going to do is go into week 3 and go, Trey, like, then, all right, then yes, then your season as a 49er fan is over, and that sucks. But the Niners are still in contention in the NFC now. Can you quibble with how they got there and how they got to this point? Yes, absolutely. I think that's valid. I think you can criticize the QB power on 2nd and 8. I think you can criticize the lack of outside runs designed for Trey Lance. And maybe they did that because that's not his forte. I don't know. But this is the worst thing that could have happened to Trey Lance. And it's not even close.
Not close.
So that's where we're at. I see full phone lines. We will get to you on the other side. I got some people that want to blame Kyle Shanahan. I got people who want to talk about the QB in 2023. We will do all of that, taking your text at the Comcast Business Tech Line, 888-957-9570 is the number. We will talk to you on the other side. He's Alan Stiles. I'm Kyle Madsen. Whose fault is it that Trey Lance got hurt? We'll get to it on Overtime on 95.7 The Game.
This football season, adopt a new tradition that's sure to turn fans into family. The Jim Beam Highball. That's beam and soda over ice with a lemon slice. Share one at the stadium or make one at home. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2022, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like that place with the square pizzas? Or Mama Hoo Hoo? The spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Order up! You know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
The gamer, the call maker, the experience chaser. What if you could be everything all at once? Galaxy Z Fold 4 is powered by the Snapdragon processor for world-class performance and lightning-fast speed to turbocharge your multitasking. How about an expansive edge-to-edge screen for immersive gaming, hands-free video calls with flex mode, and multi-window view to use up to 3 apps at the same time? With Galaxy Z Fold 4, do more with ease and make multitasking a breeze. Available now at Samsung.com.
Whether you're buying a new car or used one, it's a big investment, which is why you should choose Pennzoil Platinum. It helps extend the life of your engine and protect it up to 15 years or 500,000 miles, whichever comes first, guaranteed. That's because Pennzoil's base oil is made from natural gas and 99.5% free from engine clogging impurities. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Enrollment required. Keep your receipts. Other conditions apply. See Pennzoil.com/warranty for full details. Find it at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
It's Joe Shasky from The Morning Roast. And if you're an independent restaurateur or are starting a brand new business, then you gotta know about my friends at Trimark. Trimark, making independent restaurateurs' dreams come true in Northern California for over 55 years. Whether you're designing your next restaurant or you need equipment and supplies, this is where Trimark comes in. They do it all. And what's most important to them is being a partner to their business customers. Visit TrimarkWest.com. That's TrimarkWest.com.
If you run a small business, efficiency has never been more important. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing small business savings. Call now to get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/22. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Restrictions apply. New business 50 megabits per second customers only. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
Fremont Bank. If there's one thing we understand more than anybody, it's that it takes a local bank to really get the needs of local businesses. And more than anything, local businesses need access. Access to a knowledgeable banker and access to a full suite of business services. Can't come to the bank? We'll come to you. Our devotion to our clients ensures your business never misses a beat. That's why Fremont Bank remains the right choice for local and family-owned businesses. Learn more at FremontBank.com. Member FDIC.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
What's your retirement look like? With Fidelity Income Planning, a dedicated advisor can help you create a flexible income strategy to grow and protect your wealth so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services member NYSE SIPC.
The Doobie Brothers 50th Anniversary Tour is coming to Shoreline Amphitheater September 27th, and 95.7 The Game has your tickets. For your chance to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Now, back to Overtime with Kyle Madsen and Alan Stiles on 95.7 The Game.
A 27-7 49ers win has turned into something of a whodunit. You've heard of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This is Who Injured Trey Lance. Was it just a freak football play? Is this on Kyle Shanahan? What does Jimmy Garoppolo mean for all this? Or what does this mean for Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, when you get past, again, this is devastating for Trey Lance.
Yes.
And the 49ers and his long-term future. Again, he's just 22. He'll be back next year, and that's fine.
To run the power option.
Right. But now it's like, that's the thing. It's like, they did some really fun, creative stuff with the run game against Chicago that just wasn't there today. And maybe they were planning on getting there against Seattle, but they just didn't. And that was a little frustrating. But anyways, it's devastating for Trey Lance. And we'll continue to talk about it. But the 49ers went into this season in a spot where they were one of very few teams that if their starting quarterback went down, they could still be in the hunt. And we saw that today. Now, that's great. Was this avoidable? Or was this just a matter of, running quarterback who plays with reckless abandon, plays the game like a linebacker.
Yeah, watch football, watch other teams. Yep. They all do it. No different.
That's the thing. It's like, how is Josh Allen not gotten hurt yet? Man.
It's a copycat league, though.
Plays like he's on a Roomba.
But that's the thing, right? It's a copycat league. Okay, well, Josh Allen does it. Well, let's do it with Trey Lance. No. And again, if Josh Allen had gotten injured, they would have stopped doing it, right? It's cool until it's not cool.
And so maybe the Niners now stop with that play moving forward. At some point they gotta let their young guy throw it though. Like that's just coming down the pipe eventually.
It's telling because if you can't throw it against the Seahawks, who were you going to let him throw it against?
Right. When was that? Right. What development benchmark did he need to hit?
Right.
Where they were going to feel good about it. And that's, I don't know. Let's get to some of these calls. We've had some people waiting on the line, and I know people are fired up, so let's hear from you. He's Alan Stiles. I'm Kyle Madsen. Jason's on 680, and he wants to talk about the quarterback in 2023. Jason, what do you got for us?
Hey, so yeah, we're worried about how Trey's hurt right now, but the thing is, we're going to be messed up next year, so the window to win is literally this year. Jimmy G's not going to come back next year. We're going to have a Trey Lance who is either hurt or not healthy to play with a Brock Purdy. What are we going to do next year? Bring in a bridge veteran.
Why are you assuming he's not going to be ready to play next year?
Okay, let's say he is ready to play. He's healthy. Another year of not having any experience under his belt. And they didn't trust him this year. What makes you think they're going to trust him next year?
They're going to have to. Like, that's it. Your safety blanket is gone.
It's gone.
Like, that. It's feet to the fire. He has to go play now. That was always going to happen. That was always going to, at some point, it was going to have to be like, all right, he's the guy now. He's got to go play. You trade 3 first-round picks for him. He has to go be good at some point. And you have to either let him sink or swim. Because buoying him via quarterback power is not a viable long-term option
No.
in the NFL.
You know what it was? It was duct tape and super glue.
Yes.
That's all. That's
Right.
what this
But
was.
at what point, and this is my question, and this was always my question this year, at what point is it not duct tape and super glue? At what point were they going to look and say, and again, maybe it was this week, maybe because I thought Trey Lance showed a couple of like really promising things this week that he didn't show last week. And it's like, man, that's growth. That's what they're looking for. And now he's hurt and he's done for the year. So maybe it was next week. Maybe it was in Denver. They were going to go like, hey, you're going toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson. Let it go. But by 2023, he's going to be the starter. And they're not going to have the safety net of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Technically, they could.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get a starting caliber quarterback contract.
Or do they... We have to wait and see what happens this season, because what happens if Jimmy does take them to the promised land? Then what happens?
Then some team's going to break him off a lot of money.
Why wouldn't that team be the Niners?
Because they can't. They're not going to... They have to sign Nick Bosa to an extension. They have to figure out what's happening on their offensive line.
Is just... I just can't believe, man. I literally just can't believe you gave up those picks and you had no clue what you were going to do. Clearly, they had no clue what they were going to do.
Yeah, it was, and they knew that. Kyle Shanahan said that. He's been open about that. The sample size with Trey Lance was so short that they were projecting because they just didn't have enough tape. So they went, all right, he's got these traits. We can project that out. Feel good about that. And that's fine, but, like, throw the big boy pants on him, man. Like, you got to find out one way or the other. And the fact that they were still relying in week 2 so heavily on the QB run after last week, seeing so many times where there were like 3 plays in Chicago where it's like, he's not getting up.
Right?
Like, he's not going to get up from that. Oh, he did. Okay, that's lucky. And at some point, like, your luck's going to run out.
The safe option that they kept using wasn't safe. Your safety blanket play is not a safe play. And I'm not going to let Kyle Shanahan try to talk me out of this. You know, he's already saying, watch football. We do, Kyle. And if Josh Allen got hurt, they'd stop running it. Lamar Jackson, they can't stop running it with Lamar Jackson. But they built their offense to encompass what Lamar Jackson does in Baltimore. That's different. Again, just be honest. Trey wasn't ready to throw the football. Nobody looked at... We saw Lamar at Louisville. We knew this was who Lamar Jackson was. Nobody sat there and thought that this is who Trey Lance was. So now it looks very obvious that the reason you did this is because you did not feel comfortable with Trey Lance throwing the football.
Okay, now what?
Now... Lucky for them. Oh, my goodness. Jimmy G just fell in our laps. So now you still have a chance. Next year is going to be a complete mess.
You seem angry, and I want to know why.
Because
like you say, like you do the air quotes thing with Jimmy. It's like, yeah, dude, they brought him in as a hedge. Like they didn't front.
Because tomorrow everybody's going to sit there and say, this is why they held on to Jimmy.
It is.
Wow, this is smart move by the Niners. It was, but how can you call it a smart move when you're running your franchise QB into the ground? I don't care who your backup is.
There's 2 separate things here, though. You can be mad about what plays they were running for Trey Lance or whatever, but had he gotten hurt on a play where he was just standing in the pocket and took a weird hit, that was on the table too. Like he's not a good... Like, self-preservation's a skill. He doesn't have that skill.
I think that...
Whether it's on a QB power or a scramble or a read option or whatever, he's not good at avoiding hits. I think that's what they were accounting for. I didn't think they were sitting there a week before the regular season was going to start or their preseason finale when they decided to keep Jimmy. I don't think they were sitting there going, hey, you know what? We're going to run a ton of QB power. That's a super dangerous play. We need Jimmy back. I think that's giving them way too much credit for foresight.
I mean, look, maybe, but I just think that Niners fans should feel like they were sold something that wasn't necessarily true. We're going to give Trey the keys, this, that, and the third. And meanwhile, Kyle Shanahan knew deep down in his soul when he goes home, before he goes into bed and he looks in the mirror, Trey ain't ready. And then when you get to the regular season and you see him running this much, we're thinking, yesterday was college football. Am I watching Navy? Am I watching Georgia Tech? What am I looking at here? Niner fans should feel like, yes, you're not going to go out there and say, yeah, Trey's not ready, but you were sold, okay, this is Trey's team now, he's ready to go, and clearly he wasn't, because I don't think Kyle Shanahan would have called those QB powers.
He wasn't ready to go in the way that you wanted him to be ready to go.
Or Kyle Shanahan. Right. You think Kyle Shanahan wanted to call those plays?
That's what I meant. You, Kyle.
Yes. You think Kyle Shanahan wanted to call all those plays? I don't think so.
No.
Right? So I think it's less about him being reckless and more about he's not ready. We already said we were going to start him. We thought Jimmy was going to be gone. He's still on the team. We got to ride with it. We said we gave him the keys. Let's just do whatever we can do to get through the season. And you couldn't even get through 2 games.
Yeah. And get through the season or get to the point that they felt comfortable letting Trey throw it. But I don't know how you get there. The thing I can't reconcile is I don't know how you get there via the QB power. Where you're like, yeah, hey, now we feel good about him throwing it. That just doesn't track to me. Mo Money is in San Francisco. He wants to talk about Jimmy G. Mo Money, you're on with Styles and Madsen on Overtime. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say Jimmy G is smiling all the way to the bank. You know why? Because he's about to get a lucrative contract. And I hate to see Trey get hurt, but I think we gave up 3 first-round picks for a guy that didn't play college football for 2 years. I think this is the worst deal after that Jimmy Johnson traded Herschel Walker to Minnesota, and Minnesota gave all those picks. So I'm very happy for actually Jimmy, because all those Jimmy haters that were saying, oh, Jimmy this, and they were hyping up Lance. I mean, I feel bad for Lance, trust me.
It doesn't sound like it.
He is not going to last next year. He is not going to last in this league.
Okay. Then that's a fair thing to wonder.
I guess the question is,
broke his finger in the preseason. He got hurt against the Cardinals, and now he's broken an ankle. So
the season starts, and obviously you want the team to be as good as possible. My question is, when was Trey going, and unfortunately now we're not going to see, when was Trey going to start to develop, right? Because
it felt like it was happening today.
Slowly but surely, and that's what we wanted to see, be a little bit better each week, and it was going in that direction. But, okay, in those situations, all right, let's go QB power here. It was working. It was definitely working, and maybe if they had gotten stuffed earlier, maybe they don't find themselves in this situation with Trey, but it was working. It's a good play. But again, I wouldn't liken this to the Josh Allens of the world or Kyler Murray's. We've just seen, again, more tape on them. They understand what they're doing in terms of when they run the football. This is not, I think, what any of us thought when they drafted Trey Lance, and I don't think it was initially the plan. So now you find yourself in a situation where, sure, Kyle, if you want me to give him kudos for keeping Jimmy G, I'll give him some kudos. But I think that when we initially heard that they were keeping Jimmy G, we didn't know, or I didn't know personally, that they were going to run Trey like this. Or we wouldn't have spent so much time. Why did they bring Jimmy G back? This, that, and the third. Oh, it makes sense from a business standpoint. No. They're planning on running Trey Lance a lot.
Yeah, and they know he's not good at avoiding hits. That's just not his game. So yeah, I always think it was an injury hedge. I think that was a large part of it. I think part of it was a play hedge, but I think part of it was definitely an injury hedge. J-Bo's in Stinson Beach. You're on Overtime with Madsen and Styles. What's up, J-Bo?
What's good, lads? I'm stoked to be on. And Styles, I kind of want to echo a little bit of what you were saying, which I think is kind of a bigger picture deal than just today, although I definitely agree that today is kind of a franchise-altering day, I think, for the Niners a bit. And I think what my biggest issue is a bit with, honestly, the organization, which is how they were signaling to the fans for the last 9 months from whenever Jimmy, threw that terrible ball to Hasty, who he dropped against the Rams. You know what I mean? Like, the signaling by the billion-dollar 49ers, multi-billion-dollar organization that the Niners are, to the fact that they had no clue what Trey Lance was, and they were not willing to really unleash him, which I think a building team would have been able to do, or a Super Bowl winning caliber, a Super Bowl caliber team could have done with a slightly better quarterback. So I think what the issue is that the organization, in a sense, pitted, the fans against one another. Whoever believed in Trey couldn't believe in Jimmy. Whoever believed in Jimmy couldn't believe in Trey. And so now we're in this really difficult position where we just dominated the Seahawks. This is a great day for, Niners in general, but we're kind of looking at this in a broad scale in a really, really sad way. And I think that's the fault of the organization in a sense, and potentially Kyle's hubris.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to thread an impossible needle.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to develop a young quarterback at the most important position on the field. Again, this isn't a James Wiseman thing where, hey, you can play him 12 minutes and let him figure it out. Nah, man, he has to play at some point. And at some point, he was going to be the reason they either did or did not have success this year. And they were trying to hide it for as long as they could. They said all year, hey, we got a defense, we have a run game, we just need him to not turn the ball over and not make too many mistakes. But they obviously felt they needed more from him. And they needed more from him on the ground. And now he's hurt, which again, the 49ers as a team in 2022 are probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
We've seen them win games with Jimmy Garoppolo. So the expectation is going to be they're going to continue to win games with Jimmy Garoppolo. The problem now is, again, as this conversation now shifts away from the 2022 49ers and looking bigger picture, this is now very tough for Trey Lance. He's got injury rehab to go through, and then he's going to have to go into the offseason where he's going to have some mechanical things I'm sure he's going to continue working on. He's going to try and get better. He's going to try and get more accurate. And then he steps in OTAs as the QB1 again next year, and it's all right, let's start this whole cycle over again, because he's still going to be, on some level, a massive question mark.
He was the one with the least amount of experience out of those main QB prospects from that draft. And now here goes another season. Last year was planned. This year was not. Now here goes another season where Trey Lance won't be getting better. And if you're not getting better, Kyle, last time I checked, unfortunately, you're getting worse.
Yes.
Because everybody else is getting their work in, and Trey Lance is not going to be able to. It's unfortunate. I'm thinking now, though, sometimes you go out Saturday night, Friday night, you spend more money than you should. But, you're upset at yourself in that moment. You wake up Monday, you look at your account, oh, man, I shouldn't have spent all that money. But 2 weeks go by, you get another paycheck, you don't think about it anymore.
Right.
I'm wondering now, as much as we say they used 2 draft picks on him, or the first round picks, all this stuff, I'm wondering now, by the time we get to next year, will there be less pressure in the sense of, it's almost so long ago that they gave up these picks. Yeah, we're going to see if Trey hits or not, and if not, we'll just go in a different direction. I'm starting to think that it won't even be that big of a deal anymore. You forget, just like when you spend too much money on Friday or Saturday, oh, I forgot I wasted that money. Shouldn't have done that, but I've moved on. Oh, yeah, we did use those picks, but that was like 2-3 years ago.
The last of those first-round picks is this next year's draft.
Yeah.
And then they'll have their picks again. So I think there's a little part of that that might be right. Rick in Santa Clara wants to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Rob and Sam Bruno, I see you there. We'll get to you as well. Rick, you're on Overtime with Madsen and Styles. What's up, man? Hey, Rick. Hello.
Rick.
Oh.
Yeah, so we think it is all Kyle Shanahan's fault. Putting Trey Lance in a position right up the gut to get injured. And this should have maybe happened last weekend, but it happened this weekend. So we want to get your thoughts off the air.
Totally. Couldn't agree more. I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
It could have happened last weekend, but it happened this weekend instead. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that goes back to what we were saying. And Kyle Shanahan said it himself. We were going to continue to run that play. So what you're telling me, Kyle, is you didn't intend on Trey Lance finishing this season. If you were going to run him that much.
Yeah, I don't 100% like. It's obviously not a play Kyle Shanahan sees as more dangerous than other plays. So there's not going to be anything that's going to convince him otherwise.
We just went through.
a football play.
We just went through essentially Debo's camp because we all know Debo. He loves football. We've seen him last quarter against the Rams. Give me the ball. We know he just wants the football. So when the whole thing came out about Debo not liking wide back, none of us really believed it because we saw it on his face. Debo's a football player. It was Debo's camp saying, look, we know you love this, but from a business standpoint, let's make sure that we don't make you too available because this is a business and they're going to do whatever they need to do to win these football games. You have to protect yourself. So he gets a $650K added to his contract. We just went through that because Debo didn't want to be in the backfield and run between the tackles like that without some version of an extra compensation. So you doing that with your franchise quarterback, even if it is because that's the best option right now, it's an indictment on something. Whether it's an indictment on the pick originally a couple years ago or an indictment on you not being able to develop him, somebody has got to answer to this.
I don't understand why Shanahan all of a sudden needs his quarterback to run. In 2019, they were one of the best running teams in the league. And Jimmy Garoppolo almost never ran it, especially on designed runs, except for sneaks.
Right. We're acting like those running plays were instead of, I guess the idea is that, okay, well, he's running it because he's not comfortable throwing the ball. But again, don't they have, what's that position called? Running backs?
Yeah,
don't they have a couple of those on the team?
Who ran the ball effectively today, by the way. It's a fascinating,
and that's why I go back to being too cute, being the smartest person in the room. I'm stuck between that. And I'm stuck between, okay, Trey couldn't, they weren't comfortable letting Trey throw, but you have running backs. So I don't know where the indictment should be, but it's somewhere with Kyle Shanahan, somewhere within that process.
Rob and Sam Bruno, we'll get you in here before the break. Rob, you're on overtime. Go ahead, man.
Pure sabotage. And I'm going to tell you why. I was at the game. When they ran that, they was running that same Ricky Big offense, running Trey up the middle. You don't run him up the middle. He wasn't drafted to run up the middle. And what got me so upset was as soon as he went out, they let Jimmy throw the ball down the field. That's Trey Lance's best attribute is getting the ball down the field. All of a sudden, they letting Jimmy go do that, and Jimmy was missing wide left, everything. So his best attribute outside of running is getting the ball down the field accurately. His weakness is getting the ball doing the slant routes, the low routes. His strength is getting the ball accurately downfield to his receivers. So why do you run that with that guy like that? Why do you run that? He's been in football too long. Him and his dad been in football too long. No, you don't let your quarterback run up the middle like that. He didn't let Hoyer do that. He didn't let Jimmy Garoppolo do that. So why do you feel it's necessary to do with the guys like RG3 and Lance? To me, it's pure sabotage. I've been a Niners fan my whole life, almost 30 years. I'm done with this franchise. That was wrong. And for you to let Lance go out there and run that rinky-dink offense, put him in position to get himself hurt.
Thanks, Rob.
Look,
Rob's
man,
done. He's out.
And look,
he's done with this team.
Somebody needs to tell Kyle Shanahan.
Shanahan the little T.
I know Kyler Murray's playing the Raiders today, and we know he loves his video games. Somebody needs to tell Kyle Shanahan that this isn't Madden. This is real life. You can't just, I don't know what to do. Let's just run the quarterback. This is real life, dude.
Dude, the fullback draw on Madden was undefeated.
Gosh.
That's 4 yards every time.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. I don't understand how you make this decision to get this quarterback. He's not ready. Even if he's not ready, okay, let's just run him up the middle. That seems like a good idea.
That's okay. That's the part. The more I think about it, the more we talk about this. That's the thing I don't think I quite get is what's the benefit? What play are they setting up? What play? Because it's not like this QB power was ripping off 12 yards a touch. No. And it's like, man, you know what? I saw the vision. This was a play that was getting them 5.
Even last week. I mean, those are hard-earned yards.
Yeah,
hard-earned yards from Trey.
And it's not putting him in a spot where he can get out and avoid a hit. It just doesn't. I get what Kyle Shanahan's saying. Mm-hmm. And I get that he has to call a game, and he cannot call a game with like, hey, you know what if the player gets injured on this play? Like, he can't do that. You can't. Because if you do that, you're going to lose a lot of games because you're going, okay, well, let's throw out these 20 plays where it sends this player up the middle. So I get it. But on the other hand, this is the guy that you're tying your future to as a head coach. If the Trey Lance thing doesn't work, I don't know how much longer Kyle Shanahan's leash is. And I certainly don't think if this Trey Lance thing doesn't work, that there are going to be a lot of teams falling over backwards to give Kyle Shanahan personnel control.
No.
Like he has now.
No. I mean...
And I would think that you would want to take... Again, you're not calling plays thinking of injuries. But you have to know that particular play puts your quarterback in a spot that he's not going to be able to avoid a hit. And he's around defensive linemen and he's around linebackers who are all bigger and faster.
Yeah.
So maybe not faster, but definitely bigger.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I never got to see Trey Lance in full stride.
Yeah.
They were hard-earned yards. It's not like he was just cruising ever. Not last week, not this week.
And I don't necessarily think he's that type of runner, but then stop running him. Stop leaning on it so much. That's what's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Shanahan made it so clear. You need a guy that can play from the pocket, and that athletic stuff, the play extending, that's all gravy. He didn't treat it that way. The Trey Lance pick was sold as something different than what we saw on Sunday.
And that just, again, that's why even thinking about next week or next year, that's why I'm thinking, do they even care that they drafted Trey Lance? Are they even going to think it's that big of an L? Because at this point, they're just like, yeah, I mean, we try some things. Because if they're being open, yeah, he had the least amount of tape, but we took him anyway. You legitimately just gave up picks for a gamble, and you lost. As of right now, you have lost.
You're currently losing.
You're currently losing. Yes. You can get back.
They needed a lot of things to go their way. Now they're going to need a significant jump from him this offseason to even start to get this to work. I see the phone lines lit up. We're talking about Trey Lance's injury. Is Kyle Shanahan responsible for this? 888-957-9570. We're taking your calls. We're taking your texts on the Comcast Business text line. Shout out to YouTube and Twitch. We are live there as well. If you want to watch this, we'll be in the YouTube chat. Let's talk about it. Trey Lance is injured. It's Kyle Shanahan's fault. 888-957-9570. He's Alan Stiles. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're on overtime. 95.7 The Game.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or dishwashers, but you will find the best deals on the best TVs, soundbars, and home theater systems. Shop around, but then make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry. In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael.
Video Only.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
At Harris Ranch, we do beef, just like we've done for over 50 years. Beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. The flavor you crave, the quality you trust time after delicious time. Come on, it's time to get out and grill. Harris Ranch, we do beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching everything you do online? There's actually a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more. All for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with a push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a special BOGO offer from Bosch. Buy a select Bosch 18-volt bare tool, get a battery free. Shop savings on all of our top pro items. Plus, MVPs earn up to 3 times bonus points on select products. Join today and redeem points for products designed to level up your business. Don't miss MVP's bonus days, happening now at Lowe's. Pricing and offers subject to change at any time. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 9/23.
The Doobie Brothers 50th Anniversary Tour is coming to Shoreline Amphitheater September 27th, and 95.7 The Game has your tickets. For your chance to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
Now, back to Overtime with Kyle Madsen and Alan Stiles on 95.7 The Game.
You would think with the tenor of this show that the 49ers lost by 50.
It's very true. It's very true. I hate that. But what are you going to do, man? It's big picture here. We think big picture here.
I'm looking little picture. I thought Talanoa Hufanga was great.
Yes.
Jeff Wilson Jr., nice little game
So
from him.
we're doing the overtime overachievers. That's who you're running through right now?
No, we're going to skip. We'll get to those for
All
sure.
right.
The overtime overachievers coming up.
I thought you jumped it. I thought you jumped it.
No, I'm not quite. We got callers that want to talk, and we are going to get to them right now. 888-957-9570 if you want to join this conversation. If you do want to be hyped about the win, go ahead. Like, I am not going to stop you. The Niners blew out the Seahawks and did something they needed to do. They got back in the win column. You feel a lot better about them going into Denver next week. Alas, Trey Lance gets hurt. That's where this conversation is, and that's where we're going to keep this going. Frank, you're out in Fort Worth, Texas, wants to weigh in on Overtime with Madsen and Stiles. What's up, Frank?
Hey, guys. Good evening. Yeah, great team win. I will mention that. But here's something I pondered for a while now. And, you know, Kyle Shanahan, he's not a good quarterback developing coach. And, you know, he's needed guys like Jimmy, Matt, what's his name over there in Atlanta, and Kirk Cousins to be a winning coach. Without that, you know, he doesn't have a very good track record. And here's a quick prediction for me. I think he gets run in 2024 because this franchise, with that, he just set us back because Garoppolo is going to be gone next year, and where's Lance going to be at? You know, he just totally set us back. So I'm pissed off, not liking Shanahan at all anymore, and love my Niners still, but I'm pissed off, and I think, like I said, that's my prediction.
Thanks, Frank. Wow. I'm amazed. Look, I knew there would be some people mad about the play call, but dang.
It doesn't help
people
that it's
coming for his job.
It doesn't. It's week 2.
Wild.
It's week 2, man. It's week 2, and you didn't even get to see Trey. It's rough. It's a rough go. You didn't even get to see what Trey was gonna do. We sat here and we're thinking that this is gonna be just a new year, right? I think people are upset now. Let's not forget there are plenty of Jimmy fans out there that I'm not going to say that they're happy that Trey is injured, but they are happy that Jimmy Garoppolo is back to being QB1. There are a group of people out there, but there was
a weird amount of celebrating.
It's weird. It's weird. And if it's okay if Jimmy's your guy, it's okay. But if you let that leak over to being happy that a 22-year-old is injured, don't be that person. Don't be that person. So you take all this time, right, getting ready for the season. Who's it going to be? Okay, Trey has the keys. Let's see what this guy can do. And you can't even get through halfway through the Seahawks game, and now he's taken away from you again. And he needed reps, and he's not getting reps. He's going to have to rehab. He's going to have to do these things, and he's going to be left behind. He's going to be left behind. The question is, who is he when he comes back in next season?
It feels like and maybe it's next year, they're going to have to bite the bullet and say, hey, maybe we don't compete for a championship this year because we just need to let Trey play. And if that means going 5-12 as he figures it out, fine. But at some point, they're going to have to do that. I thought it was going to be this year. And then they bring Jimmy back, and we are where we are. But Casey's in San Francisco, wants to talk about Kyle Shanahan. Let's get Casey in here on Overtime with Styles and Madsen. What's up, Casey?
Hey, guys, long-time listener, first-time caller. First thing I want to say is everyone needs to relax, all right? Trey Lance, yeah, he did get injured. People calling for Shanahan's job because he had Trey Lance rushing the ball. Trey Lance is a dynamic quarterback. That's why we restructured Jimmy's contract, and that's why we're keeping Trey, as far as 2023, 2024 goes. I think the Super Bowl is possible. People calling for Shanahan, saying that he's the reason why Trey Lance gets hurt. Hello, it's football. People get hurt. This one guy is calling. He said he's been a fan for 30 years. 30 years, and he's given up on the franchise because Shanahan had Trey Lance running the ball. I mean, yeah, it's a disappointing outcome for sure. We're sad for Trey. We're thinking about him. He's going to come back strong next year. But people calling for Shanahan's job because Trey Lance got hurt on maybe a fluke play. Sure, he might have been in, a little bit more of a predicament as far as rushing the ball. But, this is what is Lamar Jackson doing? What is Josh Allen doing? Trey Lance is that dynamic quarterback that the Niners needed to get over the hump, to get to the Super Bowl and win that Super Bowl. We know what Jimmy can do. We know where Jimmy's going to get us. NFC shift, Super Bowl, can't get us over the hump. Trey Lance was that guy. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Obviously, we have high hopes for 2023, 2024. But people calling for Shanahan just because Trey Lance got hurt on maybe a fluke play, get out of town. Guys are giving up on the franchise. Please, good. See ya.
Thanks, Casey.
It's not a fluke play. It's not a fluke play.
It is a little bit.
It's not. It's not.
It's a little bit.
Sterling ran the numbers, okay? Over 200 snaps Trey Lance has had. He's ran the ball 20% of the time. It's not a fluke play. If the play is a fluke,
his foot got caught in the ground.
If the play is a fluke, sure. But you have more of an opportunity to be in a fluke play when you run your quarterback 20% of the time. And from what we're seeing this year in QB powers. So miss me with that. It's a fluke play. Stop it.
It is a little bit. It is a little bit, though.
It's a fluke play when you're putting him in position to where fluke stuff can happen. So how fluky is it when you're running him 20% of the time?
Yeah. I mean, they knew they were putting him in a spot where he was going to take some hits, but I wouldn't. It's not like they called the get Trey injured play.
Might as well. It's called the Trey ain't going to last the whole season.
Oh my God! Might as well.
Look, they did not sit here, and again, they're not going to come out and say it, but we were not sold that Trey Lance was going to run this much.
Yes, that's very true.
That's
very true.
And the whole, oh my gosh, golly gee willikers, Jimmy Garoppolo wants to stay? How could we not say no? No, they needed Jimmy G because they knew they were going to run Trey, and maybe that's because Trey wasn't ready to throw the football, or Trey or Kyle Shanahan didn't feel comfortable. But that is not what, at least I didn't go into this season believing that Trey Lance was going to run this much.
It feels like you're connecting keeping Jimmy with Lance getting hurt. As if they had cut Garoppolo, Lance wouldn't be hurt right now. That's how what you're saying is coming across.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying at some point in camp, there was probably a conversation that said, hey, Trey ain't there yet. We're probably going to run him more than we thought. Let's see what Jimmy's talking about.
Yeah, I think 100% that's what happened.
And obviously, you're not going to come out and say that to everyone because we had all these people saying, no, now it's a more tradable contract. They never intended on trading Jimmy G.
They would have.
Not after the restructure.
Not
after the restructure.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I think they would have, but I also think that it was a hedge for this. They didn't. Shanahan. He hears people like Matt Steinmetz on our station say, he's a bad coach. Look at his record. And then you look at his record and it's like, oh man, when he has a healthy starting quarterback, he's pretty good. When he has Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard, he really stinks. Or Brian Hoyer. He really stinks. So he wanted to avoid another season of that.
Right.
Trey was going to get hurt. Or if Trey was going to get hurt, they wanted a competent backup that could win them games and get them to the playoffs. And get his record above 500.
Yeah.
So people get off his back about it.
415 is chiming in. You know I love my analogies. If you've been listening, you've heard about 5 of them already.
They are so strange, but boy, you get there.
415 chiming in. Running Trey in the QB power is like leaving work at 5 p.m. You're going to hit traffic. You know you're going to hit traffic. You know you're going to hit traffic. But you left at 5 anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. But that's a bad analogy. Bad analogy.
I see where you're coming from, 415.
I don't, 415.
Of course I do.
Workshop that. I get what you're trying to get at, but
it's expected. It's somewhat expected, I think, is the point.
I don't know.
Come on.
I'm way more certain about traffic than I am weird injuries where my quarterback's ankle gets caught in
weird injury, though?
That's a weird injury.
That comes from running in between. You are more likely to have a quote-unquote weird injury.
I have a question.
Sure.
How many players have gotten injured like that this year?
I do not know off the top of my head.
Okay.
But
how many
like
last
what,
year?
though?
How many last year?
But what do you mean
what
like that?
What about the year before that?
What do you mean like that?
I'm getting there. Just lean in.
I don't know what like that means, so I can't answer that.
How many players get hurt on power runs?
I don't know. Including running backs?
Anybody.
I would think a good bit, but I do not know.
Right. Because it's not a play that's like notoriously injury prone. It's not. You don't know because it's just not a thing that really happens.
You're putting yourself in harm's way, though.
You do that all the time. You did that on any. You could do that, and again.
So you're okay. So you don't have any problem with running Trey Lance this much.
My issue is they didn't trust Trey Lance to just throw the damn football. That's the issue I have. My issue is, quarterback power, QB draw, freaking triple option like they ran against the Bears. Like, they felt they could not just give it. Robin San-Bruno said it. Jimmy Garoppolo came in the game, and it was, hey, he is slinging the rock. And they just didn't, whether they thought he was ready or not, like, at some point, he's just got to do it. That's why he's playing. He wasn't playing to pick up 4 yards at a time via QB power. That's not what makes Trey Lance special. What makes Trey Lance special is that sick-ass throw he made to Ray McLeod against Chicago. It was the throw he made to Jeff Wilson Jr. on third down in the red zone today, where he had a defensive end bearing down on him, and even off balance, he's still able to get a ton of cheddar behind the throw to fit it into Jeff Wilson Jr. outside of the reach of the cornerback.
Yeah, it was all great stuff.
His arm talent is unbelievable. Let him do that. The QB power is I don't care. Run that play. That's
you don't mind it as a play, but you want to see more of Jimmy, you're going to see more of Jimmy. You want to see more of Trey just throwing the football.
Yes.
And you're not going to get to Kyle. You know why?
Yeah.
Because of QB power.
Well, because he snapped his ankle. Right. Bobby in Oakland, he is also not happy with Trey Lance's usage. Bobby, go ahead. You're on with Overtime. You're on with Styles and Madsen on Overtime on 95.7. What's up?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I don't know how to feel about this win. I'm glad we got the win, but, man, I have to say this, man. I really have to say this. I can't think of one coach in the NFL that will run their so-called franchise quarterback up the middle continuously. If you don't know he's going to get hurt, you should know that, Kyle. He's been in the league long enough. Hey, I think the best coach on last year's staff is over in Miami. You know, he threw the ball 32 times, spread the field. If you're going to run your quarterback, run him to the outside like Josh Allen. Run him to the outside like Lamar. Don't run him up the middle. It's inevitable you're going to get hurt. I'm not saying he's trying to get him hurt, but, man, I got questions, man. I mean, Kyle probably doesn't know how to work with Trey's skill set. The play calls never fit his skill set, to me. I'm looking at it. I mean, Trey's a downfield guy, right? Yeah, you can run him, but run him to the outside. If you're going to run him up the middle, you're misusing that talent. And I'm just totally upset the way they used him, man. That's just a thought on that, man.
Thanks, Bobby. Just for a quick point on Tua throwing the ball 50 times a day, they were also down 21 going into the fourth quarter. Game script dictated that.
Sure, a little bit of context.
A little bit. But no, it was my problem in Chicago, and it was a little bit my problem with this game plan. Trey Lance threw it 3 times. He had as many passes as he had designed quarterback runs.
Unreal.
And that's my, whether it's, like I said, whether it's on an option or an outside run or an inside run, the fact it was a quarterback power matters way less to me than the fact that it was really clear Shanahan just didn't want to let his guy go make plays.
Yeah. 408 is chiming in, talking about the running backs. And it's a good point when you were asking me about, the injuries. I mean, the Niners always have injured running backs. There's one injured right now. So, I mean, clearly, I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's the type of runners they draft, but there is something in the water in Santa Clara to where in this running game, there are injuries. So I do think it makes a bit of a difference whether it's on the outside or not. But Trey Lance, again, I mean, when he gets moving, he can chug a lug a little bit, but he's not a burner in the same way as a Patrick. No, not Patrick Mahomes, but Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray.
In an ideal world, and that's what's so interesting about this, is I think in an ideal world he would be a Patrick Mahomes type runner, where he's going to scramble out. He's going to survey. He's going to use his big arm to make plays outside of structure. Oh, hey, it's 3rd and 10, and the entire defense is playing man, and they've all got their backs to the quarterback. Yeah, hey, he's going to take those 15 free yards and then slide.
Can I say something?
I mean, I would hope yes.
Because I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It's a copycat league. And I'm starting to think that the Trey Lance pick, everybody saw Patrick Mahomes and thought, I want one of those. And did the Niners take the swing because they wanted their own Patrick Mahomes? Is that what this is? Because you didn't have enough film?
No. Okay, let me stop you. No. Because I think any team that thinks they're going to draft Patrick Mahomes is stupid. I don't think the 49ers are stupid.
Well, or if Patrick Mahomes is 100%, right? And let's say, okay, we got a 70% version of Patrick Mahomes, whatever that quarterback looks like. That 70% version of Patrick Mahomes would still be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And maybe they were hoping for something like that. I don't think they necessarily thought, they would be Patrick Mahomes, but...
Do you know what I think the turning point was for the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan in terms of these type of quarterbacks? The big, fast, strong-armed quarterbacks. I think it was 2020 in Week 13 when Josh Allen and the Bills, they beat the Niners 34-24, but the Niners scored like a late touchdown that made it look closer than it was.
Right.
Allen in that game was 32 of 40 for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Niners had no answer. They had nothing. And that was still, without Nick Bosa, a pretty good defense. And Josh Allen made them look like a JV squad. And I think Kyle Shanahan looked at that and went, man, if we had a player
I want one of those
that talented in my offense, which is great, but he wasn't letting Trey be that type of playmaker yet.
Not yet.
And that's where my frustration comes in. Like, take the training wheels off. Like, let him go. And if you miss the Super Bowl this year or you miss the playoffs this year, but he got some good development in, that's a successful year.
You know what it is, though? The training wheels didn't make anything safer going back to the QB runs, right? And just, okay, the security blanket. It's basically like, what's safer? Riding a bike with one training wheel or riding a bike with no training wheels? Because I'd argue it's riding a bike with no training wheels.
But it's not about safety. It's about the most effective way for the 49ers to win football games. And they thought that was, hey, we're going to limit turnovers. We're going to possess the football. And Trey's going to help us do that by picking up 4 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the way they thought he could help them win this year. Let's clear up a couple more of these phone calls. Joshua wants to talk about a bittersweet win. Joshua, you're on Overtime with Madsen and Styles on 95.7. What's up, man?
Hey, fellas, how's it going? It's a bittersweet win, honestly, for us today. I just got to say, man, Trey Lance, he isn't going to obviously get the training wheels taken off on week 1 or week 2. But, I think Kyle was gradually just working him in there to get snaps under the center, get the groove going with the line, just feel just the NFL game, even just get that speed more down in his brain, let him kind of just roll with things, he's what, 22, only had so many snaps in college, barely had snaps with us last year, and technically he won a game for us last year, right? So
yeah,
can't say he didn't even win a game for us in the NFL yet, and then everybody was on his case about Chicago. Well, they're saying, he can't win a game and stuff. Well, technically he won one last year, even at the end and we needed that win to help us get in the playoffs. So it wasn't really that was go out there and see what you can do win. It was a kind of must win game for us. So, I'm feeling bad it's a bittersweet win. I liked Jimmy. I didn't say I loved him, but I liked Jimmy when we first got him because we needed somebody better than what we had.
Yeah.
But, Trey Lance came in, and I think, Jimmy being the backup, that was cool, whatever. But really, I think Trey, he didn't get hurt because Kyle wanted him to get hurt.
Right.
I was just trying to get him comfortable in the game, and that's what he did in college a lot.
Okay. Thanks, Joshua. Yeah. I think bittersweet win is a way a lot of people are going to. I said I honestly keep forgetting that they won.
Right.
It feels so inconsequential.
Yeah.
Big picture.
Well, and what's interesting is if somebody were to ask me who's better right now, Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, I'd have to say Jimmy Garoppolo, no?
Yeah. But right. So that was always the thing is if Garoppolo's ahead of Lance.
Yes.
At what point this year was Lance and the 49ers believed that by the end of this year he would give them going into the playoffs a better chance to compete with Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady and whoever they were going to face in the playoffs. So that's I think was their hope, and now we certainly won't know this year. Let's get one more call in here. Roy in the city thinks it's Kyle Shanahan's fault. Let's get Roy in here real quickly. Roy, keep it tight. You're on Overtime with Madsen and Styles. What's up?
Hey, what's up? I'll keep it quick. People got to remember this. When Kyle was coaching Audrey Griffin III at Washington, D.C., what happened to him? Ankle injury.
Is it ACL on a play that he fumbled the snap? But I refuse to look again. Criticize Shanahan. There's a ton to criticize here.
You're not going down the RG3
I'm not doing
route.
the RG3 thing.
I'm not gonna keep anybody from going the RG3 route.
I am. It's irrational. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. You want to stick around here for one more segment?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, we still got some lines, some people on the phone that want to chat We are here for you. 888-957-9570 if you want to chime in on this conversation. Trey Lance's injury, whose fault is it? Should Kyle Shanahan be fired? We'll take your text on the Comcast Business text line. We're in the YouTube chat. We're in the Twitch chat. And then we'll also have our overtime overachievers give out a couple of game balls and try and get a little bit of celebrating before this show's over. That's Alan Stiles. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're on 95.7 The Game.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
O'Reilly. Improve fuel mileage with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage. Get Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner starting at $9.99 and earn 10 times O Rewards points on your purchase. Get the most out of every gallon. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop O'ReillyAuto.com today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. UCSF Sports Medicine Center is dedicated to treating every type of athlete, from kids to adults, amateurs to elite professionals. As one of the best orthopedic programs in the nation, UCSF has programs to optimize an athlete's performance and the latest advancements to treat the most complex sports injuries. With locations throughout the Bay Area, now including Marin, Walnut Creek, and Redwood Shores, it's even easier to make an appointment today. Visit ucsfhealth.org so you can get cleared to play. UCSF Health, redefining possible.
Whether you're buying a new car or used one, it's a big investment, which is why you should choose Pennzoil Platinum. It helps extend the life of your engine and protect it up to 15 years or 500,000 miles, whichever comes first, guaranteed. That's because Pennzoil's base oil is made from natural gas and 99.5% free from engine clogging impurities. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Enrollment required. Keep your receipts. Other conditions apply. See pennzoil.com/warranty for full details. Find it at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Fruits and vegetables are very environmentally friendly foods. Make them even more friendly by eating them in season and choosing produce that is local and organic. Shopping at farmers markets are a great way to do both. And you can also start growing fruits and vegetables in your own garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can start with a few potted plants. Join Odyssey. And together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Eddie Gleason here. Join me and John Dickinson at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill, Saturday, September 24th, when we broadcast live noon to 4 p.m. Take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities at their fall clearance sales event. That's September 24th, 12 to 4 p.m. at Friedman's Appliance.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
95.7 The Game is an equal opportunity employer, and we encourage local community organizations to refer qualified applicants to us. You can receive The Game and Odyssey job vacancy information by contacting Human Resources at 415-765-4011 or by emailing sfhr@odyssey.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The Doobie Brothers 50th Anniversary Tour is coming to Shoreline Amphitheater September 27th, and 95.7 The Game has your tickets. For your chance to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
Fremont Bank. If there's one thing we understand more than anybody, it's that it takes a local bank to really get the needs of local businesses. Fremont Bank has the flexibility and motivation to service your business loan needs like other banks can't or won't. With our full suite of business loan products and recognition as a top SBA lender in the Bay Area, Fremont Bank is the right choice for local and family-owned businesses. Fremont Bank. Learn more at fremontbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At BMW of Fairfield, our guests work with one client advisor through the entire transaction. No handoffs to multiple car salesmen. No waiting for a finance manager to take you to a back room. Client advisors at BMW of Fairfield are thoroughly trained in every aspect of the process, so they can lead you efficiently and effectively through the purchase from start to finish. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, back to overtime with Kyle Madsen and Alan Stiles on 95.7 The Game.
Time is a flat circle. Everything is pointless. Eat Arby's. We're just back here because, of course, we're just back to Jimmy's the quarterback again. And as that game happened today, I remembered why I hate watching Jimmy Garoppolo play quarterback.
Yeah. You know what, though?
But we're back here, and we've got a full season of it.
And look, they are going to have a chance. The NFC's wide open. But I am glad Jimmy is out there because we weren't even at week 2 yet, and everybody's saying Jimmy gives this team a better chance to win. Jimmy was slowly morphing into Joe Montana, right? He was morphing into Joe Montana. He was morphing into all these guys, Steve Young. The longer he sat on the bench, people just started, I don't know if it was blurry or what it was, but Jimmy all of a sudden was just this god that I can't understand why we're not playing this guy.
Yeah, like, did we not watch the postseason?
So I am glad that we can all watch Jimmy now and deal with reality and not whatever people had conjured up in their minds in terms of what Jimmy is. And with that being said, they could win it all. They could.
They have a better chance of every quarterback that was available this offseason that was realistically going to play for the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo is the best backup option.
Right.
And we saw why. He came in today. He was 13 of 21, $154. He threw a touchdown, didn't turn it over. I think missed a couple of throws he probably should have hit. But I mean, first game back after shoulder surgery, like that's what they needed. Let's run through some of these calls. 888-957-9570 if you want to join the conversation. Paul is in Pleasanton. He's not buying into Kyle Shanahan. Paul, what's up? You're on Overtime with Madsen and Stiles.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for taking my call. So I think it's time to call the spade a spade on Shanahan. He's way overhyped as a coach, especially by the national media. I think you guys locally have been kind of holding him to the fire. So I'll make 3 points on that. My first is his play calling is atrocious under pressure. I mean, go back and look at that Super Bowl with the Falcons, right? In fourth quarter, they're driving. It's 3rd and short, under 30-yard lines. He drops Ryan backs. He sacks. We know what happened. In the Super Bowl, everybody wants to blame Jimmy for overthrowing Sanders on, I think it was a 40-yard pass.
There's a bomb.
I mean, that's, less than 50% chance of happening. And we all remember before the half, which, Lynch was shouting for overtime, for taking a timeout here. I mean, his play calling was that good. Point number 2 is that, he's got this in his mind, this thing about the slow pocket passer quarterback. I mean, he always talks about Kirk Cousins. Jimmy allegedly is that same guy, but I don't think he's ever viewed him as his own. So I think in this draft, a couple of years ago, he wanted Mac Jones. And then when he, if he wanted Mac Jones, he should have just waited for him, or maybe go up 1 or 2 spots.
Paul, if Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones in a 49ers uniform, Mac Jones would be in a 49ers uniform. Okay, keep making your points.
you all remember all the firestorm that was happening here when Mac Jones and 3 first-round draft picks, came about, right? And that's probably the right call to not pick him. Now, then you have already traded away the picks. So you take this, it's like buying a lottery ticket with Trey Lance. And point number 3 is that, look at his record without Jimmy G. Yeah, he didn't have a starting quarterback, but all those losses were not against Bill Belichick and Mahomes and Brady. I love to see the winning record of all the quarterbacks and coaches he has lost to without Jimmy G. So, he had this one thing working for him that he has never recognized as his own, and he's kind of looking for this magic thing that doesn't exist. So, thanks for taking my call.
Boy, that thread lost me multiple times.
There comes a time with every quarterback where you decide, is he enough, right? I think, and I don't know the Kirk Cousins deal off the top of my head, but they got some boys out there, and they're going to have a shot at it. Kirk Cousins, his time is running out pretty soon in terms of, can you do it or can you not? Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, for the Niners, they believed that they already got to that point with Jimmy G. Yes. So we can talk about all the success that they've had. The Niners just said, we just don't think it's enough. You look around the other QBs that are actually winning, because the whole go to a Super Bowl thing, ladies and gentlemen, Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl.
Sure.
A lot of QBs go to Super Bowls. That doesn't make you untouchable. It doesn't make you elite, right? It makes you a quarterback that went to the Super Bowl and with nothing to show for it because you didn't win it. So I don't necessarily even know how far that should even take Jimmy G. And the last thing I want to say is we're sitting here acting like Jimmy G has been Cal Ripken Jr. in terms of playing, playing every day. We could see Brock Purdy.
Yes.
We could see Brock Purdy this year.
Very, very real possibility.
It's completely a real possibility.
Yes. Jimmy Garoppolo's inability to stay on the field was a big reason that they went out and they got Trey Lance. And just don't get it twisted with Trey Lance. The reason they picked him is not because he can move, but because they thought he could be an elite pocket passer. That he had the traits mentally and with his arm strength to make all the throws, that he could be an elite processor from the pocket who also had the ability to extend plays, pick up first down with his legs. It wasn't a let's draft an athlete and make him a quarterback.
Right.
They drafted a quarterback who also happens to be an athlete.
Could we say they were hoping he would be Mahomes adjacent?
Yeah, they picked him because they think in his maximum developed stage can be in that top 5 QB conversation.
Right.
That's why they picked him.
But again, that's why every QB gets drafted, right? Nobody drafts in the first round, or specifically the top 10 picks. No one drafts a quarterback in the top 10 picks thinking, I don't know, maybe he'll be pretty good.
Right. Well, there's levels of ceiling that you think that player is going to reach. Let's get out to Tyler in San Francisco. He wants to talk about the 2021 draft class, which is going to be a fascinating group. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm just curious on everybody's thoughts about this whole trade-up to getting Lance. Would this team have been better with Garoppolo throwing the ball if Jamar Chase is on the other side of Deebo Samuel? I just think back to everything we gave up, and now we're back at square one.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's definitely a question that you can ask, but I don't think the Niners' shortcomings are because they don't have whoever the 12th pick in the 2021 draft would have been.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you look at now you have to get return on investment, but you look at the Rams and they don't care about picks.
Also,
right?
Jamar Chase went 5th. The Niners weren't going to draft him.
You would have still had to give up picks to get up that high.
Yeah, so they would have been 12th. Micah Parsons went 12th. I think they'd be a pretty good team if they had Micah Parsons.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
He can do some things.
He's a decent little player.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, this goes back to the start. I commend the 49ers for taking the swing that a lot of teams won't make. Like, there are so many teams that are just okay with being like, yeah, hey, we'll probably not make a Super Bowl. We'll be in the playoffs. We'll be in the national conversation. And maybe if everything goes right and we get to the Super Bowl, maybe the game falls our way, but we're cool if it doesn't. Like, they took that swing. They traded all that draft capital to go up because Shanahan identified a quarterback that he thought could become a top 5, top 3 type player that was going to have them in the conversation every year, regardless of what the roster looked like. they wouldn't need a top 3 roster and then have other stuff go right to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, they thought he could be that is a plug-and-play playoff quarterback.
And look, Jimmy might win in Lombardi. It's very possible.
On the table.
And all the Jimmy truthers, let me beat you to the punch here because you're going to pop up out of nowhere, just like that Simpsons gif when he disappears into the bush. You're going to reappear and say, I told you so. Well, no, you didn't. Because we all knew that Jimmy, at this point in time, on September 18th, was a better quarterback than Trey Lance. We never said, at least I never said Trey Lance was better than Jimmy Garoppolo. The Niners felt like that Jimmy wasn't good enough, right? That's not to say that Jimmy can't prove him wrong and go on a run and win this whole thing, but we all understood that Jimmy is right now better than Trey. They were looking to continue to develop Trey and see how much better he can eventually be than Jimmy. Will we get that opportunity to see it? Hopefully one day. It's not going to be this season. But if Jimmy goes out and wins the Super Bowl, nobody is saying he's not capable. We've just seen that in certain situations, he doesn't have that next level. He doesn't go Super Saiyan. He hasn't done it before. Maybe this is the year. It's possible. So I know you're ready to pop in. I told you so. You didn't tell us anything. The Niners went in a different direction because they felt that they had seen enough of Jimmy. And what we do here now is sometimes you trust in, when things fit your narrative, sometimes you trust the coaching staff, sometimes you don't. When it doesn't match, these guys don't know anything. But now that it matches, well, they play the game.
Right.
They play the game. You don't. How do you know? Just keep the same energy either way. We all knew that they were taking a swing. And what is Wayne Gretzky? What did he say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, you could also miss the shot.
Sure.
And it's quite possible that the Niners may have missed the shot. And again, going back to the draft and the reasoning, whether we're talking about the play itself putting Trey in harm's way more than others or not, either way, the fact that you feel like you have to run him because what I'm taking from that is his arm isn't ready, that's still connected to the pick in general.
Yeah.
Because you went up there and you essentially said, yeah, we'll just give up these picks, get up there, and this is supposed to be a historically great class, even though only 30% of these quarterbacks work out. We're just going to hop on up there, and somebody's got to be better than Jimmy. So they got a little bit of egg on their face. I can't lie. But they covered it.
They took a risk, and you can't ever guarantee that a draft pick's going to work out. So, like I said, I commend the process. The results, TBD, but I very much commend the process. TC's in Sacramento, wants to talk about the Trey Lance injury. TC, what's going on? Hey, TC.
What's up, Connor? What's up? What's up with my two guys, man?
Chilling, man.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What's up?
Okay, yeah, no, man. I'm just, the whole situation, man, is just, I don't understand. First of all, I don't understand, like, even from the jump, like, if Kyle, it starts with Kyle. Like, we can't keep just overlooking Kyle and, like, blaming Kyle, like, sometimes, and then sometimes, oh, no, he's a genius. No, he's actually like a fuck-up.
Gone. Yeah.
Gotta go.
Come on, man.
I mean, we've been coming at Kyle. I've been coming at Kyle the whole show. I mean, Kyle, to me, you get in the car, you turn that seat warmer on, buddy. It's only on 1. It's not a hot seat. But if it goes up to 5 when it's really cold out, it's at 1. It's at 1 for me.
All right. Steve's on the road. He thinks Kyle Shanahan has now ruined Trey Lance. That's a big leap. Steve, explain.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Sure can.
I don't understand how you can justify how Kyle Shanahan didn't actively and knowingly sabotage his franchise quarterback by running him up the gut like Tom Rathman all the time. If he's so smart, you're telling me that this glorified high school quarterback, not to Lance's fault, but just by nature of his experience, how is he not going to get hurt? Like, it wasn't like he dropped back and had a fluke play where somebody hit his leg. Anyone who watches this team knew that this was going to happen if he kept doing it, and he does it. And then, inexplicably, he calls a quarterback delayed draw with his other quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, with a busted shoulder at the goal line. I don't know how you can ever justify how this guy inexplicably makes the most ridiculous play calls, and I understand that up until the 20-yard line, he's fine. But when you get inside the 10-yard line and you start doing things that nobody who's half drunk on their couch would call, I don't know how you can justify this guy's anything better than a great schemer who completely craps the bed and is not a head coach.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
How do you really feel, Steve?
They were number 1 in the league in red zone touchdown percentage last year. So
With
I would hold off a little bit on the red zone thing. No, Kyle Shanahan has a blind spot when it comes to, I think, short yardage play calls and fourth down decision making. I think his fourth down decision making, I don't know this, but I think his fourth down decision making is all gut instinct.
Right.
Like he's like, I think I have a play that's going to work here. Let's go for it. Or, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. It's 4th and 1. We're on the opposing team's 40, but we're going to punt. I don't feel great about the 4th and 1.
4th and 8. It's like that meme where someone's looking away and then you're looking at something else.
Yeah.
Like 4th and 1. No, the Drake meme. 4th and 1. Nah. 4th and 8. Yeah, sign me up for that.
Yeah, just right. It's so weird because it felt like I've seen them in that same spot, 4th and 3, 10 times and they punted.
Yeah.
I just don't. So yeah, I think there's definitely some blind spots.
I will say though, for the red zone this year specifically,
they've been trash.
There's always one play that's essentially a throwaway. It's a running play that starts 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, something that doesn't make sense. And again, that's what I was looking forward to seeing in this game and moving forward. Do you have it in you to throw the football once you get to that 3rd and goal on the 5-yard line, 6-yard line, 7-yard line to have Trey throw? And the answer was no. The answer was, you can't make me do it, and I'm not doing it.
Craig and San Leandro. Craig's also, we got a lot of people very upset at Kyle Shanahan. Go ahead,
Rightfully
Craig.
so.
Hey, you guys are being too nice because I agree with the last 2 callers. Kyle Shanahan has ruined our franchise quarterback. It's unbelievable. I can't believe what I saw in the Chicago game and what I saw in today's game. What is wrong with Kyle Shanahan?
Do you know why he was playing Trey Lance like that, Craig? Is because Kyle Shanahan doesn't believe he's a franchise quarterback yet.
Not yet.
That's why he was running him. Go ahead.
Of the future? He said he was the quarterback of the near future. Okay? He has just ruined this kid. Okay? He's broken his ankle. You think he's going to come back next year and be effective? He has ruined this kid.
You're giving up, Craig, you're giving up on Trey Lance? He's done?
What is wrong with Kyle Shanahan? He's oh my goodness, he's overrated.
Okay, Craig. See ya.
Is he overrated?
I think he's rated. I think when you talk to like smart football people, he's pretty regularly like fringe top 10 type of coach.
I think that the idea, what I've heard, you would think that Kyle Shanahan is closer to top 5 than top 10. If that's how he gets talked about.
Yeah, because he's in terms of being on the cutting edge of offensive football, he's brilliant. In terms of some of his decision making, like I said, I think it's a major blind spot. And I think that he has failed the 49ers several times with his decision making. We saw it today. The decision to try and kick a field goal gets blocked and returned for a touchdown.
Yes.
Weird play that it got blocked and returned for a touchdown, but also just go for it. It's 4th and goal from the 2.
Wasn't it 20-0 at that point?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that would have made it. That would have taken a 3-score game and made it a 3-score game. Whereas a touchdown makes it a 4-score game.
Right.
In the second half. Tegan and Fairfield finish it up here on Overtime with Madsen and Styles. What's up, Tegan? Hey, Tegan.
Hello? Yeah, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, let it rip, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm like everybody else. I agree with what's being said, man. Shanahan and not really too much ruin because, anybody can come back from anything. Drew Brees came back from a destroyed shoulder and took, the Saints to a Super Bowl and won. So I'm not fully out on him being out, but I'm, really fed up with Shanahan. ever since RG3. Like, he didn't made some decision calling that got his knee toe up when Jimmy first got to us, when he was mobile and, you feel me, an actual threat. He got hit. I mean, I don't know if that was his fault, but Jimmy was on a run and then toe his knee up, and now you got Trey Lance messing his ankle up, man, on designed quarterback plays when you shouldn't be designing him to play. If you want him to be a franchise quarterback, then he needs to be in that pocket and know how to operate and thread and slice people up.
I'm with you. I totally agree. I think that's how Trey Lance needed to be used. And the fact that they just so quickly kind of went to the run game was confusing to me. Let's pause the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff and the Trey Lance stuff and the Kyle Shanahan stuff, because I think that conversation is going to keep going. We have a few minutes left. That's 6 minutes to the end of the segment. I want to very briefly focus on the fact the 49ers won.
They did.
And you wanted to do something called Overtime's Overachievers.
Yes, sir.
And point out some players who played well today. Kyle Shanahan wasn't great. Trey Lance obviously got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo came in. But let's take a deep breath for a moment. Everybody relax. Woosah. Remember your pressure points. And let's talk about very briefly before we get out of here some good stuff that happened. Who's your first overtime overachiever?
Yeah, my first overtime overachiever. I'm not trying to feed the beast here, but you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. It's got to go to Jimmy G. It wasn't a great game from Jimmy G, obviously, but he came in, he finished it out. I'm sorry. I have to.
He was good.
I have to.
He was good. He just kind of slowly devolved back into Jimmy G as a game. Batted pass here, air-mailed pass. I was like, what is it? He was slinging it when he first came in. He was 4 for 4, like 70 yards and a tud. Jimmy was fine. And like you said, it could have really been a disaster, and he wasn't. Drake Jackson's my first one. He didn't get credit for it, but he should get half a sack.
Right.
The NFL official scoring system has Nick Bosa with 2 sacks today. Nick Bosa should have 1.5. Drake Jackson, the rookie second-round pick, should have half for his first career half sack.
And I'm going Nick Bosa for my second overtime overachiever. He's going to be a staple in this segment, but he balled today. Like you said, in the scorebook or in the box score, he's got 2 sacks, and he balled and he did his thing. So that's my second guy.
There's a theme with my last 2.
Okay.
Players who stunk last week that needed bounce back games. Dre Greenlaw's my first one. Led the team in tackles.
Yeah.
Was really, really good in this game, and that's what the Niners need from him. He was so much better this week than he was last week. He ends up getting a 2-year contract extension that's expected to be finalized on Monday. So shout out to Dre Greenlaw. Made a couple big mistakes last week. Bounced back with a much better game this week.
My last one. Well, I don't want to take it from you, but obviously I'm assuming this is what you're going to say.
No, we'll talk about it.
Talanoa Hufanga is got to be.
Oh, that wasn't what I was going to say.
Well, that's my guy. Yeah. I mean, look, last week he balled the first half, not so much the second half, but he is a dude. And the Niners got a good one. He was on 95.7 earlier this week as well. You know, great interview there, and he came out balled today. He was a part of that interception. He was all over the place. The 925 is saying, I thought it looked like Troy Polamalu. You're not wrong. He was doing his thizzle. He was doing it up. So that one, my last one goes to Talanoa Hufanga.
Yeah, two interceptions. Well, he has an interception, and then he tipped up the one that Tayshaun Gibson grabbed. I was not concerned that there would be like some kind of regression from him, but just kind of like, man, you know what? That was a pretty run-heavy game script for Chicago, and the weather. It was easy to get downhill and look great. He was at fault on the 2 blown coverages, so let's see. He was excellent again. I love the pick. My last one's Debo. Debo just was a non-factor in Chicago, and there were a couple plays today where he was just like, team on my back, let's go.
Yeah.
That 51-yard run was sick, where he looked to be stopped up in the backfield, juked the defensive end or the linebacker, whoever it was, turned it into a huge game. He had 53 yards on the ground. He had 44 yards through the air. That's more 5 catches on 6 targets. That's what we expect to see from Debo.
Shook him out of his shoes.
That's why they paid him.
And last week he had the fumble as well on that first drive where you could have really set the tone there. So look, and I'll tell you what, the Niners, business-wise, they've been hitting it. Because Jimmy G, you keep Jimmy G on a discount, now you got Jimmy G. He's going to hit those incentives, right, you would assume. So he's going to get paid more than that. And number 2, maybe the best deal since Safeway sandwiches, Debo capped at $650K.
For his incentives.
for his incentives, 3 touchdowns or however many carries, he's going to blow that out of the water probably before week 5, week 6. So great on the Niners I'm surprised that Debo let them cap it, because $650K, that is a TJ Maxx Ross deal right there.
Yeah, but they made them easy to get. So basically guaranteeing him almost $1 million extra.
Exactly.
Which I think he was definitely going to take. So hard to remember that the Niners won this one 27-7. They look great. They got a bounce back win. But devastating for Trey Lance. Out for the season with a broken ankle. He's going to have surgery on Monday. That's tomorrow. So he's done for the year. It's Jimmy Garoppolo time in San Francisco. And guess we'll just run back the 2021 season.
Yeah. Deja vu.
Man. Niners go to Denver next week. I can't wait to listen throughout this week. Our callers were on fire. Everybody was excellent. I can't wait to hear what Bonta and Shasky have to say in the morning roast at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Willard and Dibs, 9 to noon. Dibs actually back tomorrow. He's been gone the last few weeks. Dibs is back in with Willard tomorrow from 9 to noon. Then it's Steiny and Guru noon to 3 and Ratto and Damon and Ratto from 3 to 6. So stay locked in to 95.7 The Game all day tomorrow. We'll have reaction for you. We'll have some good guests. But I know that we'll want to hear from listeners and get their reactions. And we got off to a great start today.
Yes, sir.
Let's get after it. All right. He's Alan Stiles. Alan Stiles. Nailed it. I'm Kyle Madsen. For Sterling Bennett and everybody back here working behind the scenes, really appreciate you guys. This has been Overtime on 95.7 The Game. Again, the Niners beat the Seahawks 27-7. We will see you guys next week.
Feels great, baby.
So what are you reading? I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are